Hey friends, and welcome to this quiet hour together. I'm so glad you're spending this tranquil time exploring your body's amazing universe. Tonight we'll gently explore your muscular system, but not like an anatomy class. Not mentioning intensive exercises or athletic performance. Instead, we'll explore your muscles' profound silence, the delicate symphony of tension and release that brings you to rest, and the amazing ways your body prepares for sleep. We'll examine how your muscles switch from supporters and movers to healers and restorers at night. If these leisurely voyages through human anatomy are as calming as I hope, please subscribe and join our growing community of curious minds who marvel at the science of being human. Tonight, whether you're listening from a lovely bedroom in Copenhagen, a quiet apartment in Tokyo, a farmhouse in rural Montana, or somewhere I've never imagined, we're united by this shared moment of discovery. Now dim your lights and let's enter. As you breathe slowly and naturally, feeling your chest rise and fall in that ancient rhythm that connects you to every living moment you've ever experienced, you're already seeing one of the most important and mysterious roles of the muscular system. The diaphragm, a muscle that looks like a dome and sits like a soft tent under your lungs, is working with the same quiet power as waves hitting the shore. It contracts and relaxes in a way that is so basic that you don't even notice it. But it's what makes every peaceful moment you've ever had, every laugh you've ever shared, every word you've ever said, and every sigh of happiness you've ever released. This amazing muscle works all the time in the background, unlike the ones that move your arms and legs when you want to. It is a loyal friend that never really stops working, even when you are sleeping deeply. The diaphragm is a type of muscle called a skeletal muscle, but it works like the smooth muscles that line your internal organs. These smooth muscles have a completely different way of moving your body. They do their jobs without you telling them to, and they do them with a level of patience and persistence that goes against what we think we know about how to be efficient. They are the muscles that help you digest food by slowly moving it through your intestines like a massage that can take hours to finish. They are the muscles in your blood vessels that change their size throughout the day and night to keep your blood pressure stable. They do this by using the knowledge gained from millions of years of evolution to meet your body's needs. When you breathe in clean air, the smooth muscles in your airways open up. When they sense irritants, they close slightly. They work together with the small muscles around each hair follicle in your nose to help filter the air you breathe. Even the muscles in your pupils are smooth muscles. They change the size of your eyes opening all the time to control how much light gets in, protecting your sensitive retina and making sure you can see clearly. But let's start our deeper journey with the muscles that are easiest to feel. The skeletal muscles that make up about 40% of your body weight and give it shape, strength, and the ability to move. These are the muscles that are keeping you in the position you've chosen to listen to. Some of these muscles are always working, even when you're not doing anything, to keep you comfortable and supported. They make small changes that you might not even notice to keep you balanced and aligned. Take a moment to think about the muscles in your neck and shoulders and really pay attention to them. They've been holding up your head all day, which is about 10 to 12 pounds of bone, brain, and tissue balanced on the delicate structure of your cervical spine. This is like carrying a bowling ball on top of a flexible column made up of 7 small bones, with discs to cushion it, and a complex network of muscles, ligaments, and tendons to hold it up. The trapezius muscle, which looks like a diamond-shaped cape across your upper back, has always been there for you, keeping you upright and balanced as you walked, whether you were looking down at your phone, up at the sky, or straight ahead. This one muscle has different parts, and each part has a different job. When you shrug or reach over your head, the upper fibers help lift your shoulders. When you pull something toward you, the middle fibers pull your shoulder blades together. When you push something away from you, the lower fibers help you lower your shoulder blades. Now, as the evening winds down, you can feel these muscles starting to relax, letting go of the stress of the day like snow melting from branches in early spring. This release doesn't happen all at once. It happens in layers over time. First, the surface tension starts to go away. This is the kind of tension you might feel when you first sit down after a long day, or when you do a gentle stretch. Then deeper layers of tension start to relax. These are patterns of holding that may have been building up for days, weeks, or even months. Muscle relaxation is a lot more complicated and beautiful than just letting go. Each muscle fiber is made up of tiny protein strands called actin and myosin that work together like tiny rowers pulling on oars in perfect time. When a muscle contracts, these proteins slide past each other in a coordinated dance that has been honed over millions of years of evolution. This shortens the muscle and creates movement or tension with incredible accuracy. But relaxation isn't just the opposite of this process. It's an active choice your nervous system makes, sending chemical and electrical signals that tell these protein rowers to stop rowing and drift peacefully. Calcium ions that had been holding the actin and myosin together are released during the relaxation process. This lets them separate and the muscle fiber lengthens. Changes in electrical activity, blood flow, and the production of different neurotransmitters that help you rest and recover happen at the same time. The muscles in your face may be the best example of this cycle of tension and release. There are more than 40 different muscles in your face that can make thousands of different expressions, from a slight raise of the eyebrow to a big smile. Many of these muscles have been subtly active all day, showing how you feel, helping you talk to other people, and even showing thoughts and feelings you weren't fully aware of having. When you really think about something, worry about it, or try to understand a difficult idea, the corrugator supercilii, a small but powerful muscle above your eyebrows, contracts. This muscle makes the lines that run up and down between your brows. If you tend to think a lot or worry a lot, these lines may get more pronounced over time. As you listen to these words, pay attention to how this muscle can relax and let go of your forehead. This will make your brows smooth and calm. The orbicularis oculi muscles around your eyes have blinked thousands of times today, about 15 to 20 times a minute while you were awake. They've squinted when the lights were too bright, closed tightly when you laughed hard, maybe even narrowed a little when you were concentrating, and maybe even fought back tears when you were feeling sad. These muscles are very precise. They can control not only full blinks, but also the small partial blinks that keep your eyes moist and comfortable. Now these eye muscles can relax and get heavy and soft, and the eyelids will feel nice and heavy as they get ready for the deeper rest that sleep will bring. One of the best signs that sleep is coming is that your eyelids feel heavy, a mix of tired muscles and changes in your nervous system that make you sleepy and want to rest cause it. As we learn more about your muscular system, it's important to take a moment to appreciate the 3 different types of muscle tissue that work together in perfect harmony to keep you alive and moving through the world. We've talked about skeletal muscle before. This is the type of muscle that you can control on purpose. These muscles let you write, type, dance, and hug the people you love. These skeletal muscles are striated, which means that when you look at them under a microscope, they look like they have stripes. This is because the actin and myosin proteins are arranged in precise, repeating patterns that make them look like stripes. This is what makes skeletal muscles so strong and able to contract quickly. They can quickly and strongly contract when they need to, but they also get tired pretty quickly, which is why they need to rest and recover regularly. Smooth muscle tissue, which is in your organs and blood vessels, doesn't have these striations. When you look at smooth muscle under a microscope, it looks just like its name suggests, smooth and flowing, like silk fabric seen through a magnifying glass. These muscles contract and relax in gentle wave-like motions, which makes them work more slowly than skeletal muscles. However, they can keep their contractions going for much longer without getting tired. For example, the smooth muscles in your blood vessels can stay partially contracted for hours, which keeps your blood pressure stable and controls how much blood flows to different parts of your body as needed. Your digestive system's smooth muscles work together in waves called peristalsis. This action moves food through your stomach and intestines like a massage, and it keeps going even when you sleep. These muscles have their own nervous system, which is sometimes called the second brain. This lets them work on their own and coordinate their actions without your main nervous system telling them what to do. Cardiac muscle is the third type. It is only found in your heart and is a unique combination of traits from both skeletal and smooth muscle. It has strength and power because it is striated like skeletal muscle, but it works automatically like smooth muscle, beating without you having to think about it or try. Your heart muscle has been beating steadily since before you were born, about 6 weeks after conception. It will keep doing its rhythmic work for the rest of your life, never really stopping, just taking short breaks between each heartbeat. But tonight, we're mostly interested in how all of these muscles work together to get your body ready for sleep, which is what you need for deep rest and recovery. As the sun goes down each day, your body goes through an amazing change that affects every muscle system. Your core temperature starts to drop a little, and this cooling tells your muscles that it's time to start letting go of the stress and tension that has built up during the day. Your circadian rhythm, which is like your body's internal clock, controls this change in temperature. It has evolved to work with the natural cycle of day and night. As it gets dark, your brain's pineal gland starts to release melatonin, a hormone that not only makes you sleepy, but also directly affects your muscle tissue, making you relax and getting your whole body ready for sleep. The erector spinae group of muscles in your lower back has worked all day to keep your spine straight and stable. These long, strong muscles run like pillars on either side of your spine. They make a lot of tiny changes to keep you balanced, whether you're sitting at a desk, standing in line, walking on uneven ground, or bending down to pick something up. They've been in constant, subtle communication with the muscles in your abdomen and deep core. They work together like a natural corset to support your spine and protect your organs from the stresses of daily movement. These muscles in the spine work isometrically, which means they contract without changing length to keep the spine stable, and dynamically, which means they shorten and lengthen to make movement happen. They work in complicated ways, with some muscles contracting and others relaxing at the same time. This is what makes it possible for your spine and torso to move smoothly and in a controlled way. These muscles can start to lengthen and soften now that you're in a comfortable position. It happens slowly, like how warm wax slowly spreads and settles as a candle melts. Your nervous system sends signals that lower the baseline tension in these muscles. This lets them let go of patterns of holding that may have been building up for weeks or even months of stress and tension. This is why you feel taller in the morning after a good night's sleep. You really are taller after a full night's sleep. During deep sleep, your spinal muscles relax completely, which lets the discs between your vertebrae rehydrate and get a little bigger. Gravity and movement push on these discs all day long, which act as shock absorbers between your vertebrae. When you sleep, the constant downward pressure is released, and they can soak up more fluid and get back to their ideal thickness. By morning, they can add as much as ½ an inch to your height. Your arms and hands have their own interesting story to tell about your day and how they are getting ready to sleep. Your fingers have done a lot of precise things, like typing on keyboards, writing with pens, touching surfaces to feel their texture and temperature, and picking up things of different sizes and weights with just the right amount of force. The complicated muscles in your forearms have worked like advanced puppet strings, controlling the small movements of your fingers through a complex system of tendons that run through tunnels in your wrists and hands. These muscles in the forearm are very specialized. Some of them control how your fingers bend, which lets you make a fist or hold things. Some of them control extension, which lets you open your hand and let go of something. Some of them also control the small movements of your thumb, which works against your fingers and gives humans the ability to move things with great accuracy. The muscles that move your wrist work with the muscles in your fingers to keep your hands still so you can move your fingers with precision. These arm and hand muscles are getting ready to sleep, and they're ready to let go of the stress of the day. Your hands will naturally soften and curl up into the most comfortable position. You might see your fingers curl up a little, as if you were holding something soft and valuable, or your hands might be completely open and relaxed. Both positions are perfectly normal and show that your muscles know what they need to heal. Your leg muscles have literally held your whole body weight with each step and helped you keep your balance as you moved across different surfaces and around obstacles. The quadriceps muscles in the front of your thighs are some of the biggest and strongest muscles in your body. They've worked to make your knees straight when you stood up from a chair, climbed stairs, or stepped up onto a curb. They've also worked eccentrically, lengthening while contracting, to help you control your descent when you sat down or walked down a hill. When you walked, your hamstrings worked with your quadriceps to bend your knees and push you forward with each step. These muscles connect to your pelvis and help keep the natural curves of your spine. If they're tight or tense, they can change how you stand and move. The gastrocnemius and soleus muscles in your calves work together like a complicated pump system. They not only move you forward with each step, but they also help move blood back up to your heart against the pull of gravity. Because they are so important for keeping blood flowing through your body, the calf muscles are sometimes called the second heart. Now that all of these leg muscles are ready to let go of their job, you can rest and let gravity hold you up. This release lets more blood flow to the muscle tissue, which brings in new nutrients and oxygen and takes away the waste products that built up during the day's activities. It's very moving how much your muscles trust you to let go each night. They are always ready to move you quickly if you need them to, catch you if you fall, or respond right away to your conscious wishes to reach, walk, gesture, or hug. This readiness needs a certain amount of tension, which is a muscular alertness that is necessary for getting around safely and dealing with unexpected events. But when you get ready for bed, your muscles all agree that they don't need to be on guard right now. They start to let go of this protective tension, which makes you vulnerable in the most beautiful way possible, completely supported by your bed, completely at peace, and completely sure that you're safe and can sleep deeply. A series of muscle changes that happen in a set order is what happens when you fall asleep. First, your voluntary muscles, which are the skeletal muscles you can control, start to relax. This usually starts with the muscles in your face and moves down your body like a soft wave. Your jaw muscles, which may have been a little tense during the day because of stress or focus, start to open your lips a little. Your tongue, which has been moving around and shaping itself all day to help you talk and eat well, settles into the bottom of your mouth like a cat curling up in its favorite sunny spot. Your eyelids and the muscles around your eyes start to feel heavy. This is partly because your muscles are tired, but it's also because your nervous system is changing in ways that make you sleepy. The muscles that usually keep your eyelids open start to relax, which lets gravity slowly pull them closed. As you get more and more relaxed, your muscles go through a strange and sometimes scary change between being awake and sleeping. Hypnic jerks are those quick, short muscle contractions that happen sometimes right before you fall asleep and wake you up. These strange muscle spasms happen to up to 70% of people and seem to be a normal part of falling asleep. Scientists think that these hypnic jerks might be a leftover from evolution, a last check by your old brain to make sure you're in a safe place to sleep all the way through. Some scientists think that when your brain starts to shut down for sleep, it might mistake the relaxation of your muscles for a sign that you're falling or in danger, which could wake you up for a short time to check your surroundings. Your nervous system seems to do one last security check before letting you sleep and become completely defenseless. Once you fall asleep, your muscles go through different phases of activity depending on what stage of sleep you're in. Sleep isn't the same all the time. It goes through different stages during the night, each with its own patterns of brain activity, muscle tone, and bodily processes. Your muscles are most relaxed during the deeper stages of non-REM sleep, especially stages 3 and 4. This is when the deepest healing takes place. During these deep sleep stages, the body releases the most growth hormone. This hormone helps repair and rebuild muscle tissue that was broken down during the day's activities. During deep sleep, blood flow to your muscles goes up a lot. This brings in new nutrients and oxygen, and gets rid of metabolic waste products more quickly than when you're awake. Your muscles also do important repair work while you sleep deeply. The body fixes and rebuilds tiny damage to muscle fibers that happens during normal daily activities. Proteins that were broken down while you were using your muscles are put back together. The muscles get more energy stores. This is why it's so important for anyone who is physically active to get enough sleep. During sleep, the body repairs itself, which is when muscles get stronger and more resilient. But the most interesting thing is that during REM sleep, when you dream the most clearly, your voluntary muscles become temporarily paralyzed in a process called muscle atonia. This isn't a problem or something to worry about. It's a smart way to keep you from acting out your dreams and hurting yourself or others who are sleeping with you. This system's intelligence is truly amazing. Your brain basically disconnects from your voluntary muscles during REM sleep. This lets you dream of running without moving your legs, speaking passionately without opening your mouth, and reaching for dream objects without extending your arms. Your body and mind seem to have made a beautiful deal. Your mind gets to play and explore freely in dreams while your muscles rest completely. Then, during the deeper non-REM stages, your mind rests more quietly while your muscles work hard to repair and restore themselves. The neurons in your brainstem that actively stop the motor neurons that control your voluntary muscles control this temporary paralysis during REM sleep. The inhibition is so strong that your leg muscles won't move at all, even if you dream about running a marathon. During REM sleep, only your diaphragm and other important muscles work normally. Your muscles are never really still at night, even when you're in the deepest stages of sleep. Your heart muscle keeps working steadily and rhythmically, but it does so at a slower pace than when you're awake. Your diaphragm keeps breathing in a calm way, usually slower and deeper than when you're awake. Each breath gives your internal organs a gentle massage. Your digestive system's smooth muscles keep working hard, moving the food you ate that day from your stomach to your intestines. These muscles work together in waves to move food and waste through your body. This happens all night long. This is why you might wake up hungry in the morning. Your digestive system has been working while you slept to get your body ready for the new day. Your eye muscles stay active even when you sleep, especially during REM sleep. The muscles that move your eyes when you're awake also make the rapid eye movements that give REM sleep its name. It looks like your eyes are following the action in your dreams. These eye movements can be very noticeable. If you've ever seen someone sleeping during an REM period, you might have seen their eyelids fluttering as their eyes move quickly underneath them. Your muscles also help keep your body temperature at the right level while you sleep. They work with your circulatory system to do this. When your core body temperature drops at night, which is one of the main signs that you need to sleep, blood vessels in your hands and feet open up, letting more warm blood flow to those areas. Some of the smooth muscles in the walls of your blood vessels control this redistribution of heat. This is why your hands and feet often feel warmer just before you fall asleep, even though your body's core temperature is actually going down. Your body is moving heat from your core to your periphery to get ready for the cooler temperature that comes with deep sleep. Warm hands and feet are one of the body's natural sleep signals because this process works so well. The erector pili muscles, which are small muscles around your hair follicles, help you keep your body temperature stable. When you're cold, these tiny smooth muscles can contract and make your hairs stand up, trapping air near your skin to keep you warm. As you sleep, your body temperature regulation changes to its nighttime pattern, and your overall muscle tension decreases. These small muscles relax along with everything else, which makes you feel warm and comfortable, which is what good sleep is all about. Your muscles and breathing are beautifully connected, and this connection becomes even more important and clear when you sleep. The diaphragm is the main muscle that helps you breathe, but it doesn't do it by itself. It works with the intercostal muscles between your ribs, which help your rib cage expand and contract, as well as with extra breathing muscles in your neck, shoulders, and even your back. These breathing muscles might work in ways that make you breathe faster and shallower when you're awake. especially when you're stressed, excited, or doing something physical. The muscles in your neck and shoulders that help you breathe may become more active, lifting your rib cage and making you breathe through your chest, which is something that often happens when you're stressed or anxious. But as you fall asleep, this breathing pattern changes a lot to one that is more effective and restorative. Your breathing slows down, gets deeper, and becomes more regular. Your diaphragm does most of the work. It moves like a gentle piston, creating the pressure changes needed for breathing and giving your internal organs a natural massage with each breath. This deeper diaphragmatic breathing pattern helps your parasympathetic nervous system work. This is the rest and digest response that speeds up healing, digestion, restoration, and all the other bodily functions that work best when you are resting. The rhythm of this breathing acts like a soft metronome that helps other body systems work together and encourages deeper, more restorative sleep. The muscles of your pelvic floor, which are located deep inside your pelvis, are very important for supporting your pelvic organs and keeping your core stable all day long. These muscles work all the time when you're awake to keep your bladder, reproductive organs, and rectum in the right place. They work with your diaphragm and deep abdominal muscles to keep your spine stable and support it. These muscles in your pelvic floor also help your body get ready for sleep. As they relax along with the rest of your muscles, they help you feel like you're letting go and releasing, which is what the transition into rest is all about. This is one reason why having a full bladder can make it hard to sleep. The pelvic floor muscles stay somewhat active and alert when they are dealing with the feeling of a full bladder, which makes it harder to fully relax your muscles. You should pay special attention to your jaw muscles because they often hold more tension than you think, and this tension can have a big effect on how well you sleep. The masseter muscles, which help you chew, are some of the strongest muscles in your body for their size. When you bite down, they can apply a lot of pressure, enough to crack nuts or rip tough meat. But these strong muscles can also stay slightly contracted even when you're not eating. This is especially true if you tend to clench your jaw when you're stressed, anxious, or concentrating. The masseters and the temporalis muscles work together to make the complicated, coordinated movements needed for chewing. The temporalis muscles are like delicate hands that fan out over your temples. These muscles can also hold stress, which can cause headaches and jaw pain that make it hard to sleep well. As these jaw muscles relax before you go to sleep, you may notice that your jaw drops slightly open, leaving a small space between your upper and lower teeth. You might want to gently move your jaw from side to side, or open and close your mouth a few times to let go of the tension that has built up. This is how your body naturally gets these tired muscles ready for rest. Bruxism is a condition in which some people grind their teeth while they sleep. This shows that these jaw muscles can sometimes hold on to the stress and tension of waking hours, even when they are resting. This grinding could mean that your muscles aren't fully relaxing while you sleep. This is often because of stress, anxiety, or sleep disorders that keep you from moving through the normal stages of sleep. The complex network of muscles in your feet and ankles has worked in ways that are truly amazing when you think about how complicated and accurate they are. There are many layers of muscles in your feet that work together to keep you balanced, adjust to different surfaces, move you forward with each step, and absorb shock when you land after jumping or stepping down. These muscles in your feet have some of the most advanced proprioceptive sensors in your body. These are specialized nerve endings that keep track of where you are and how you're moving in space. They give your brain a lot of information about the ground you're walking on, where your foot is, how much pressure is on your sole, and many other things that help you move around safely and confidently. These muscles can finally stop watching over you and relax when you lie down to sleep. The little muscles between your toes can let go. The muscles that hold up your arch can let go of their constant support. The muscles around your ankle that have been making small changes all day to keep you balanced can finally relax. Your gastrocnemius and soleus muscles in your calves have worked like extra pumps all day, helping to move blood back up to your heart against the force of gravity. This pumping action in your muscles is so important for good circulation that problems with your calf muscles can cause serious problems with your circulation. When the calf muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins in your legs, which helps blood move up through a system of one-way valves. When you sleep, these muscles relax completely, and your heart and the natural elasticity of your blood vessels take over more of the work of moving blood around. People who are bedridden for long periods of time can have circulation problems because they don't get the benefits of the pumping action that healthy, active calf muscles provide. As you fall asleep, different muscle groups let go of tension in a way that is almost poetic. It's not often that the process happens all at once and in the same way in every part of your body. Instead, it happens like a wave moving slowly through your body, starting with your face and head and moving down through your torso and limbs. You might first notice that your forehead is smoothing out, and then your eyes might get heavy. Your jaw may relax, which could cause your mouth to open a little. Your shoulders might drop and get wider. Your arms may feel heavy and relaxed. Your back muscles may become less stiff and longer. Lastly, your legs and feet may feel like they're sinking into your bed, which is fully supporting and relaxing them. This sequential relaxation follows the natural way your nervous system is set up and how nerve signals travel from your brain to different muscle groups through your spinal cord. The muscles that are controlled by nerves that come from higher up in your spinal cord, like those in your head, neck and shoulders, usually relax first. Then the muscles that are controlled by nerves that come from lower levels of the spine relax. You can work with your body's wisdom instead of against it if you understand this natural pattern. You don't have to try to relax all of your muscles at once, which can make things worse. Instead, let this wave-like progression happen on its own. You could even help it along by consciously relaxing the muscles in your face and letting that relaxation flow down through your body like warm honey, slowly spreading across a surface. When we watch ourselves fall asleep, it's easy to see how mental and emotional stress can lead to muscle tension. Worry, anxiety, anger, or excitement can cause muscles to stay tense long after the emotion that started it has passed. Your shoulders might stay a little higher in a protective position. Your jaw may remain clenched, as if you are still gritting your teeth in the face of difficulties. Even when there isn't a threat or stressor nearby, your breathing muscles might still keep a quick, shallow rhythm. These ways of holding muscles are very old and go back to our evolutionary history. When our ancestors were in danger, their muscles would get tense so they could either fight or run away. This tension was important because it got the body ready to act right away. But in today's world, a lot of the things that stress us out are mental, not physical. However, our muscles still react in the same old way. This is why relaxation methods that focus on releasing tension in the muscles can help you fall asleep faster and sleep better. When you consciously relax your muscles, you send a strong message to your nervous system that there is no immediate danger and that it is safe to rest and recover. Your brain sees muscle relaxation as a sign that you are in a safe place. This helps turn on the parasympathetic nervous system and get your whole body ready for restorative sleep. The muscles in your back tell a very rich and complicated story about your daily life and the effects of living in the modern world. The latissimus dorsi are the big, strong muscles that run from your arms to your lower back. They help you reach for things, open doors, lift kids, and do a lot of other things during the day. These muscles help you move your upper body in almost every way. If you spent a lot of time hunched over a computer, looking down at your phone, or doing things that pull your shoulders forward, the rhomboids and middle trapezius, which pull your shoulder blades together, may have worked extra hard. In today's world, these muscles are often overstretched and weakened by bad posture, while the muscles in the front of your chest get tight and short. The multifidus muscles in your back run along your spine and help control the movement of individual vertebrae. They work all the time to keep your body stable and give you precise control over your movements. These muscles make thousands of tiny changes to your body every day, depending on how you move, the weight of the things you carry, and the different movements you make. These muscles that help you stand up straight often get tense in the same way over and over again, which shows how you move through the world and how you feel about yourself. Our muscles literally show how we feel through how they move. If you worry a lot, it could make the muscles in your upper trapezius stay tense. If you tend to bear the weight of the world, your levator scapulae, the muscles that lift your shoulders, may feel tight. If you feel like you don't have anyone to help you, you might feel weak or tense in your deep back muscles. But sleep gives these muscles a chance to heal and reset every night. These muscles can stretch and relax in ways that aren't possible when you're standing up and moving around. This is because you're lying down and letting gravity hold you up. As you lie down, the weight of gravity, which has been compressing your spine and putting stress on your postural muscles all day, now works in your favor by gently stretching and decompressing your spine. The multifidus muscles along your spine, the transverse abdominis that wraps around your torso like a natural weight belt, and the deep pelvic floor muscles are always working to keep you stable and support you. These muscles are so important for basic movement that they hardly ever get to rest completely, even when you're sitting or lying down during the day. The transverse abdominis, in particular, works like an internal corset. It contracts slightly before you move to keep your spine stable. You don't usually notice this muscle because it works so automatically, but it's always working to support your bigger muscles so they can work safely and efficiently. Even these basic muscles can finally let go of their constant support and protection during deep sleep. One reason you might feel a little stiff or wobbly when you first wake up is because your muscles are completely relaxed. They need a few minutes to remember what they did during the day and get back to their supportive tone. This is completely normal and is a normal part of your body's transition from sleeping to being active and supporting your body when you stand up. Waking up is basically the opposite of falling asleep from a muscular point of view. Knowing this can help you wake up more easily and quickly. Your nervous system slowly raises the baseline tone in your voluntary muscles, getting them ready to support and move you through another day of activity. Your circadian rhythms affect this process. For example, cortisol levels rise in the early morning to help get your muscles ready for action. This is why it feels so good and is so good for you to stretch or move gently when you wake up. It helps your muscles smoothly move from their resting state back to their active, supportive roles. Instead of doing hard things right away, giving your muscles a few minutes to slowly get back to their normal tone and coordination can help you avoid injury and make you feel better and more energized as you start your day. There are a lot of interesting muscles in your arms that work together in very precise ways to give you the amazing strength and dexterity of human movement. Your upper arms have biceps and triceps that work against each other. For example, when your biceps contract to bend your elbow, your triceps have to relax to let the movement happen, and the other way around. Reciprocal inhibition is the basic idea behind smooth, coordinated movement in all parts of your body. But moving your arms involves a lot more than just these two well-known muscles. The deltoids, which are the muscles that cap your shoulders like shoulder pads, are part of a complicated group of muscles that control your shoulders. These muscles give you the strength to lift your arms in any direction. The supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis muscles in the rotator cuff work together to give your shoulder joint, which is one of the most flexible joints in your body, precise control and stability. Your forearms have many muscles that control the complex movements of your wrists and fingers. These muscles are connected by a complex system of tendons that work like biological cables running through pulleys. Some of these muscles start in your forearm, but move your fingers by sending their tendons through the carpal tunnel in your wrist and all the way to your fingertips. When these arm muscles get ready for sleep, they let go of not only the physical stress of the day's activities, but also the subtle memories of all the movements and gestures they've done. Your hands might naturally curl into a soft, relaxed position, with your fingers gently bent as if you were holding something delicate and precious. Your arms might go wherever they feel best, like at your sides, across your chest, under your pillow, or around a loved one or pet. The shoulder girdle, which connects your arms to your torso, is a great example of how muscles can work together in a complicated way. Your shoulders can move around a lot and stay stable thanks to the work of many muscles. The serratus anterior, which is also known as the boxer's muscle, helps your shoulder blades slide smoothly over your ribs when you reach forward or push something away from you. When you shrug or reach over your head, the levator scapulae lift your shoulders. When you squeeze your rhomboids back, they pull your shoulder blades together. This shoulder complex often holds a lot of stress and tension, especially in today's world where we spend so much time with our arms, forward for work, phone calls, or driving. The muscles in the shoulder girdle can hold both physical and emotional stress. These hard-working muscles literally carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. The phrase, shouldering responsibility, shows how closely our shoulders are linked to our sense of duty or burden. When we have too many things to do, our shoulders often rise slightly, as if we're really trying to carry a heavy load. This can lead to long-term patterns of tension that affect not only comfort, but also breathing and posture. As you fall asleep, pay attention to how your shoulders can drop and widen. This can help you let go of both physical and emotional tension that may have been building up for hours, days, or even longer. This isn't just physical relief, it's a letting go that can change how you feel, how you think, and how well you are overall. The link between muscle tension and mood is so strong that just consciously relaxing your shoulder muscles can help calm your mind and ease feelings of anxiety or being overwhelmed. Your gluteal muscles, which are the strong muscles in your buttocks, are some of the strongest muscles in your body. They've done a lot for you throughout the day, not just when you sit down. The gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus muscles have helped you stand up straight, move around, and keep your pelvis stable while walking, climbing stairs, and doing many other things. The gluteus maximus is the biggest muscle in your body. It mainly helps you extend your hip joint, which is important for things like getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, or walking up a hill. The gluteus medius and minimus are more like stabilizers. They keep your pelvis from tilting to the side when you stand on one leg or take a step. These muscles are very important for people to be able to walk upright. They help us walk well on two legs, which lets us use tools and move things around with our hands. They've been working all day, not just when you were obviously active. They've also been working during things you might not think of as working your glutes, like keeping your balance while standing or giving you stability when you bend forward. These big, strong muscles can finally let go of their constant state of readiness and protective vigilance when you sleep. When you lie down and get ready to sleep, this deep relaxation of your gluteal muscles is a big part of the overall feeling of physical relief and surrender. When these muscles relax, they let your pelvis settle into a neutral position. This can help your whole spine line up for the best rest and recovery. The erector spinae group is a group of muscles that run along your spine. They are some of the most advanced muscles in your body. These muscles don't work as single units. Instead, they work together as a network of shorter and longer muscles that can work alone or together to make precise movements and give targeted support. The iliocostalis runs from the pelvis to the ribs and helps with bending to the side. The longissimus runs from the pelvis to the skull and helps with extending and rotating the back. The spinalis is the closest to the spine and helps with fine control of spinal movement. These muscles can help you keep your posture by contracting without changing length. Or they can help you bend, twist, and extend your spine through its full range of motion. By the end of a normal day, these spinal muscles have made thousands of tiny changes to keep you balanced as you move through different environments, respond to changes in your position, and adjust to the weight of things you've carried. They've worked together like a symphony orchestra, with different parts taking the lead at different times and others providing subtle support. They've also had to fight against the constant pull of gravity, which pushes down on your spine and makes your postural muscles work hard all the time you're standing up. Even though most of it happens below the level of conscious awareness, this is hard work. These hard-working spinal muscles are now ready for a full night's sleep. when they can relax and let your spine settle into its natural, unstressed position. Your spinal muscles can relax in a way that is impossible when you are awake. This helps them recover and get ready for another day of supporting your upright posture. When we think about the accessory muscles of respiration, muscles that aren't mainly used for breathing but can help when needed, the connection between your breathing and your muscular system becomes even more interesting. The scalens and sternocleidomastoid are muscles in your neck. The intercostals are muscles between your ribs. There are also muscles in your back and stomach. When you're stressed, excited, or working out, these extra breathing muscles work harder, which helps you move more air in and out of your lungs. But this extra effort to breathe often stays even after the stressor has gone away, which can lead to patterns of tension that make it hard to relax and sleep. One of the most beautiful things about falling asleep is how your breathing slowly changes from this possibly hard pattern back to the gentle, efficient rhythm that your diaphragm mostly controls. When your accessory breathing muscles relax, your breath naturally gets slower, deeper, and more regular. This change in how you breathe both shows and helps the deep relaxation that is a sign of good sleep. A complex system of muscles moves your rib cage. The external intercostal muscles, which are located between your ribs, help lift your rib cage when you breathe in. This opens up your chest cavity and lets air into your lungs. During forced expiration, the internal intercostal muscles help lower your rib cage. However, most quiet breathing is done by the elastic recoil of your lungs and rib cage, not by active muscle effort. When you lie down to rest, these muscles in your rib cage can relax and settle, letting your chest find its most comfortable and natural position. This adds to the feeling of openness and ease that comes with deep relaxation, both physically and emotionally. The muscles in your stomach do a lot of important things that go beyond just making your core strong and stable. The rectus abdominis, which is the six-pack muscle that runs vertically down the front of your abdomen, helps you bend your spine and supports your internal organs. But it also helps you breathe by contracting when you forcefully exhale to help push air out of your lungs. The internal and external oblique muscles wrap around your sides and help your trunk rotate and bend to the side. They also help stabilize your core by creating internal pressure that supports your spine and protects your back when you lift things and do other things. The transverse abdominis is the deepest of your abdominal muscles. It works like an internal corset, tightening automatically before almost any movement to keep your spine stable. This muscle is so important for safe movement that it turns on by itself, usually before you even realize you want to move. Even these deep stabilizing muscles can finally let go of their constant watchfulness while you sleep. This full release of core tension is what gives deep sleep its deep sense of vulnerability and surrender. Your body knows for sure that it's safe to let go of all the tension that protects it and focus completely on healing and restoring itself. You should pay special attention to the muscles in your neck because they have to deal with a lot of stress during the day, which can make it hard to sleep. Your neck has to hold up your head and let you move your head in all directions. Nod, shake your head, and make all the small adjustments that help you see what's around you. The sternocleidomastoid muscles, which run from the back of your ears to your collarbone and sternum, help you turn your head from side to side and tilt it forward and back. These muscles are almost always working when you're awake. They make small changes to keep track of moving things, keep eye contact when you're talking to someone, and turn your head towards sounds and other things that catch your attention. We've talked about the upper trapezius muscles before. They often get tight all the time because of the way we hold our heads forward when we use screens a lot. When your head is in front of where it should be over your shoulders, these muscles have to work a lot harder to keep your head from falling forward because of its own weight. The suboccipital muscles at the base of your skull and the smaller, deeper muscles in your neck work together with amazing accuracy to make small changes to the position of your head. These muscles are full of proprioceptive nerve endings that help your brain figure out where your head is in space. As all these neck muscles prepare for sleep, they can finally release the constant adjustments and vigilant support they've provided throughout your day. This is why it's so important to find a comfortable pillow that supports your neck properly. It lets these muscles really rest instead of having to keep working to keep your body in the right position while you sleep. Your face has the most expressive muscles in your body. They can show subtle feelings and complicated thoughts without words. The orbicularis oris muscles that go around your lips, the zygomaticus major and minor muscles that lift the corners of your mouth when you smile, and the depressor anguli oris muscles that pull the corners down when you frown have been telling people how you feel all day. The muscles around your eyes can also show how you feel. The orbicularis oculi not only blinks to protect and moisten your eyes, but it also makes the crinkles around your eyes when you smile genuinely. Psychologists call these Duchenne markers, which show that you are really happy and not just faking it. When you worry or focus, the corrugator supercilii muscle makes those vertical lines between your brows. When you're surprised or questioning something, the frontalis muscle across your forehead lifts your eyebrows. Even your scalp has muscles. The occipitofrontalis muscle can raise your hairline when you're really surprised, and the temporalis muscle fans across your temples as part of your jaw-closing system. All of these muscles in your face and scalp have been working all day, and they often show how you feel and what you're thinking, even if you weren't fully aware of it. When you get ready for bed, all of these expressive muscles can relax and become neutral. Your face can become a calm, blank canvas, free from the small changes and messages that happen all the time in waking life. This relaxation of the face often goes hand in hand with relaxation of the mind and emotions. When your face relaxes, your mind often does too. There is more to the link between your muscles and your emotions than just how tense they are. Recent studies have shown that your muscles make and respond to many of the same chemicals that your brain uses to control mood and behavior. Muscles can make things like brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which helps keep the brain healthy and keeps mood in check. This means that how your muscles feel, whether they're always tense or relaxed, strong or weak, active or lazy, can actually affect how you feel mentally and emotionally. Healthy sleep not only restores your body but also your mind and emotions. It helps reset your whole psychophysiological system. Your muscles also react to your emotions in ways that can lead to cycles that keep going. When you're anxious, your muscles often tense up, which sends signals back to your brain that can make you feel more anxious. Muscle relaxation also sends signals to your brain that make you feel calm and safe, which creates a positive feedback loop that helps both your physical and mental health. This is one reason why things that help your muscles relax, like progressive muscle relaxation, gentle yoga, massage, or just taking the time to consciously relax your muscles before bed, can be so good for your mental and emotional health in general, as well as your sleep. Your circadian rhythm system controls when your muscles relax by coordinating changes in body temperature, hormone levels, and nervous system activity over the course of a 24-hour day. As night falls, your brain starts to make melatonin, your core body temperature drops, and your nervous system starts to switch to the parasympathetic mode that helps you rest and recover. Your muscular system is directly affected by these changes. Your muscles are more likely to relax and less likely to stay tense when your core temperature drops. Melatonin directly affects muscle tissue, making it relax and lowering inflammation. When your parasympathetic nervous system is more active, it lowers the level of tension in the background that keeps your muscles ready to move during the day. If you know this natural rhythm, you can work with your body's wisdom instead of against it. Doing things that make your muscles tense, like working out hard, having stressful conversations, or doing things that make you feel bad close to bedtime, can get in the way of this natural process of relaxing. On the other hand, things like gentle stretching, warm baths, massage, or relaxation exercises can help your body get ready for sleep and make it easier for you to fall asleep. It's amazing how your muscles heal while you sleep. During the deeper stages of sleep, your muscles repair and rebuild themselves. which is necessary for keeping their strength, flexibility, and function. It fixes tiny damage to muscle fibers that happens when you do normal things every day. It gets rid of waste products that build up in muscle tissue during activity more quickly. The energy stores are full again. Growth hormone is a hormone that is mostly released during deep sleep. It is very important for repairing and growing muscles. This hormone makes new proteins and helps heal damaged tissue. It also helps get rid of metabolic waste and bring nutrients to muscle tissue. Your muscles also get used to the work they do while you're awake and while you sleep. Your muscles use sleep time to get stronger and adapt if you've been more active than usual. If you've been learning new ways to move, your muscles use sleep to strengthen these patterns, which makes you more coordinated and efficient. This is why getting enough sleep is so important for anyone who is training or recovering from an injury. The real gains in strength, endurance, and coordination happen mostly while you sleep, when your muscles have the time and resources to rebuild themselves stronger and better than before. Your muscles also help control your body's metabolism, and they do this even when you're sleeping. Even when you're not using them, muscle tissues are metabolically active, using energy to keep basic cellular functions going and adding to your overall metabolic rate. One reason why it's important to keep your muscle mass is that bigger, stronger muscles burn more calories even when you're sleeping. Your muscles also help keep your blood sugar levels stable while you sleep by taking glucose from your blood and storing it for energy and cell maintenance. During sleep, the body takes in more glucose, which helps keep blood sugar levels stable all night long. Sleep and muscle function affect each other in both directions. Not only do your muscles need sleep to work properly, but the quality of your muscle function also affects how well you sleep. Muscles that are always tense, weak, or out of balance can make you uncomfortable and keep you from sleeping. If your muscles hurt or are tense, it can be hard to find a comfortable sleeping position, and you may wake up a lot during the night. This is why it's so important for sleep quality to keep your muscles healthy by moving around, stretching, and managing stress. Strong, flexible muscles that aren't always tense are more likely to relax completely while you sleep, which helps you get deeper, more restorative sleep. As we come to the end of our gentle look at your muscles and how they affect sleep, take a moment to think about how smart and coordinated your muscles are all the time. Hundreds of muscles in your body are working together right now to keep you in your position, keep you breathing, circulate your blood, and support all the basic functions of life. Your muscles have been there for you your whole life, adapting to your needs, supporting your activities, showing your feelings, and working hard to keep you healthy and functional. They've learned from what you've been through, changed their way of life to fit yours, and made patterns that show how you move through the world. They've been there for you through happy and sad times, giving you the strength to hug, dance, and win. They've been there for you through tough times and problems, and they've still been able to do their jobs even when they're stressed or overworked. They've been there for every big event in your life, from your first steps as a child to every adventure and success you've had since then. These same muscles are now showing a different kind of intelligence as you get ready for bed. The wisdom to know when to let go, when to trust, and when to rest. This isn't being lazy or passive. Your muscles are making a conscious choice to put restoration and healing ahead of readiness and vigilance. Your body's natural circadian rhythms are closely linked to how your muscles get ready for sleep. This is one of the most basic and important things you can do to stay healthy and happy. When it gets dark and your brain tells you it's time to sleep, your whole muscular system changes from its daytime roles of support and movement to its nighttime roles of repair and restoration. This change isn't just physical, it's also very emotional and mental. When your muscles let go of their protective tension, you can become vulnerable in the most beautiful way possible, knowing that you are safe and can rest deeply. This letting go of muscles often leads to letting go of emotions and thoughts as well, which can help you let go of the worries, tensions, and stress that have built up over the day. Your muscles are also very responsive to how you feel, what you're thinking, and how you are mentally. Thinking about things that make you happy peaceful or grateful can help your muscles relax and let go more fully. On the other hand, thoughts of worry, anger, or stress can keep your muscles tense even when you're in bed trying to sleep. This connection between the mind and muscles is one reason why bedtime routines that help you think and feel calm and positive can help you sleep better. When you consciously work on feeling peaceful, safe, and thankful before bed, you're not only making your mind better, you're also helping your muscles fully switch into their restorative mode. As you fall asleep, your breathing is also closely linked to the way your muscles relax. When your muscles relax and let go, your breathing naturally slows down, gets deeper, and becomes more rhythmic. This deeper breathing, in turn, helps the muscles relax even more, which creates a positive feedback loop that helps you fall asleep. The diaphragm, which we talked about earlier as the muscle that helps you breathe, has a special job in this process. It gives all of your internal organs a gentle rhythmic massage by working better and needing less help from other breathing muscles. This type of breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you rest and digest, which is important for getting good sleep. The way your muscles relax while you sleep affects not only how well you recover physically, but also how well you recover mentally and emotionally. When you sleep, your muscles can relax deeply, which helps your nervous system better process the events of the day, store memories, and get ready for the challenges and opportunities of the next day. Researchers who study sleep have found that how deeply your muscles relax while you sleep is related to how well you sleep and how rested you feel when you wake up. People who keep their muscles tense while they sleep, which can happen because of stress, bad sleep positioning, or sleep disorders, often wake up feeling less rested and may feel more tired and tense during the day. Knowing how important it is for your muscles to relax for good sleep can help you make habits and do things that help this natural process. Making your bedroom a place where your muscles can relax by using supportive pillows, soft bedding, and the right temperature can help them switch into their restorative mode more easily. Making a bedtime routine that includes activities that help your muscles relax, like gentle stretching, progressive muscle relaxation, warm baths, or massage, can also help your body get ready for sleep. These methods work with the natural intelligence of your muscles instead of against it. Your body's muscles are now ready to show off how well they can heal and grow. Your postural muscles are ready to stop being on guard all day and let your spine relax and realign. Your breathing muscles are ready to relax and get into the slow, deep rhythm of sleep. Your facial muscles are ready to relax and let go of all the expressions and messages that come with being awake. Your heart muscle will keep working hard all night, but it will often do so at a slower, more peaceful pace that helps you rest and heal. Your digestive muscles will keep doing their job, breaking down the food you ate today and getting your body ready for what it will need tomorrow. Your eye muscles will even move in response to your dreams while your body stays still. This is part of the interesting dance of REM sleep. As you relax more and more, remember that your muscles are taking care of you in both obvious and subtle ways. Your muscles are working to fix and strengthen themselves, get rid of the metabolic waste from the day, and get ready for the activities of the next day. They also help your body heal and get back to normal by supporting many processes that keep you healthy and full of energy, such as hormone regulation, immune function, and many others. Your muscles have been with you through everything you've done, and they'll be there for you through everything you do in the future. They've changed to fit your way of life, shown how you feel, helped you reach your goals, and been there for you through both normal and amazing times. They just want to be able to rest, recharge, and get ready for whatever tomorrow may bring. They are showing how wise it is to know when to work and when to rest, when to hold on and when to let go, and when to be strong and when to be weak. As we come to the end of our gentle look at the anatomy of your muscular system and how it affects sleep, I want you to feel a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for these amazing tissues that make up so much of your body and add so much to your life. Your muscles are truly amazing in how complex, smart, flexible, and loyal they are to your health. Sleep well, knowing that your amazing muscles are taking care of you with every breath, heartbeat, and moment of rest and recovery. May the darkness of the night heal your muscles and give them a chance to rest and renew. May they let go of all their stress, tension, and holding on to things. May they relax and get the best, deepest sleep they can. And may you wake up tomorrow feeling refreshed, renewed, and very thankful for the amazing body that carries you through life with such grace, strength, and wisdom. Your muscles will be ready to help you get through another day of moving, expressing yourself, and experiencing things. They will be stronger and more rested after a peaceful night of sleep. Now is the time to rest. Your muscles will do what they do best: keep you safe while you sleep, repair themselves for tomorrow's adventures, and show off once again how smart and wise the human body is. Good night and sleep well, knowing that your amazing muscles will support you. We'll look at your integumentary system, which is like the most advanced blanket ever made that wraps around you and protects you. Your skin isn't just a covering, it's a living, breathing organ that tells stories, holds memories, and does a lot of work while you sleep. Right now, millions of tiny processes are happening all over your body's surface. They are working hard to protect, control, and renew. Take a moment to think about how easy it is to put your hand on your cheek. That contact between two skin surfaces makes us feel good for a moment, but we don't often stop to think about it. But in that gentle touch, you are feeling the result of millions of years of evolutionary art. Your skin is the lightest and heaviest organ in your body at the same time. It's light enough that you don't notice it most of the time, but it's heavy enough to make up about 16% of your total body weight. Let's start our journey at the very top, where your skin touches the world. The epidermis is the outermost layer of your body. It is where your body's story starts each day. In some places, this amazing boundary is thinner than a piece of paper, but it is your first line of defense against everything from the morning sun to the soft evening breeze that is now touching your face. The epidermis is made up of 5 different sublayers, each with its own personality and purpose. They all work together like the parts of a well-orchestrated symphony. The stratum corneum is at the very top. It is so thin that you could stack 20 of them and still be narrower than a single human hair. Even though this layer is very thin, it does the hard job of keeping the outside world out and your inside world safe. The cells here are no longer alive in the usual way. They've changed into something like tiny roof shingles that overlap and fit together to make a barrier that is both strong and flexible. These cells on the surface of your skin started their journey weeks ago in the deeper layers of your skin. Your skin cells change with the seasons, just like leaves do. In the spring they are bright green, but as they get ready to fall they change colour. They start out as plump, living things full of the machinery of life, but as they go up, they slowly flatten and harden. When they get to the surface, they have changed into something completely different. Protective plates made mostly of keratin, the same protein that makes up your hair and nails. You lose about 30,000 of these tiny guardians every minute of every day. If that sounds like a lot, think about how tiny flakes of your old skin are falling off right now, like the softest snowfall, making room for new cells that are already on their way up. Because of this constant change, the skin you touched last month is very different from the skin you're touching now. Your body makes a new outer layer about every 4 weeks, but this process slows down as we get older. This is one reason why wounds take longer to heal as we get older. The amazing thing about this cellular journey is how exact it is. Every cell in your body knows when to start changing, when to let go of its connections to other cells, and when to die for the greater good of your body's protection. There isn't a central command center telling everyone what to do. This is an example of what scientists call emergent behavior, which happens when simple rules followed by individual parts lead to complex good results for the whole system. The stratum lucidum is a layer that is so clear that it got its name from the Latin word for bright or shining. It is mostly found in the thicker skin on your palms and the soles of your feet. which are the parts of your body that come into contact with the world the most. Cells are tightly packed together here, like glass bricks that have been carefully arranged. This makes an extra barrier where you need it most. This layer on your palms and soles tells a story about how humans have changed over time. These areas got extra protection because our ancestors had to hold onto branches, use tools, and walk on rough ground. Even now, when most of us spend our days on smooth floors and handling soft things, we still have this evolutionary trait in the extra thickness of our palms and soles. As we go deeper, we reach the stratum granulosum, the granular layer, where cells start to change from living things to protective shields. This is where the magic of skin renewal really starts. Cells in this area begin to make granules full of proteins and lipids. These will eventually turn into the waterproof cement that holds your skin together. This layer is like a busy workshop where cellular artisans make the things that will keep you safe from the outside world. The change that happens in this layer is nothing short of amazing. Living cells give up some of their own life to make things that will protect the whole organism. It's a process that needs to be done at the right time and in the right order. If you do it too soon, the protective materials won't be made correctly. If you do it too late, the cell might die before it finishes its job. The fact that this works right in billions of cells every day shows how reliable biological systems are. The stratum spinosum, or spiny layer, spreads out below like a bed of tiny roses. The cells in this layer are linked to each other by tiny bridges that look like thorns when viewed through a microscope. This is why the layer is called prickly. Desmosomes are connections that keep neighboring cells linked together, like molecular handshakes. This makes them stronger by making them work together. This layer also holds a lot of the immune cells that protect your skin and are always on the lookout for intruders. Langerhans cells are immune sentries that show how advanced the body's defenses are. They have long branching processes that reach out to other skin cells, making a network that can find things that don't belong. They can catch things that don't belong and move to nearby lymph nodes, where they show other immune cells what they found. It's like having a police force that not only patrols the streets, but also brings evidence straight to the courthouse. The basal layer, or stratum basale, is at the base of the epidermis. This is where the amazing process of skin renewal starts. This one row of cells works like a master gardener, constantly dividing to make new cells that will eventually make their way to the surface. Some of these cells will stay here to keep dividing, while others will start moving up slowly, which will take about a month to finish. With each division, the cells in this layer have to make an important choice. Should the new cell stay in the basal layer and keep dividing, or should it start moving up toward the surface? Chemical signals from nearby cells, the presence of nutrients, and even mechanical forces acting on the tissue all play a role in this decision. Each cell has to do a complicated math problem, but somehow they all work together to keep the right balance between renewal and replacement. Melanocytes, which are specialized cells that make melanin, are spread out throughout this basal layer. Melanin is the pigment that gives your skin its color and protects you from harmful UV rays. These cells are like little factories that make pigment when they are exposed to ultraviolet light. They then pass it on to nearby cells like gifts passed along a chain of friends. The beautiful range of human skin tones comes from differences in how much melanin these cells make and how it's spread out across the skin. Melanocytes are amazing because they are so generous. Each melanocyte can give pigment to about 36 skin cells next to it. It does this by sending out protective branches that move its products to where they are most needed. This is why a tan doesn't happen all at once or in random spots. The melanocytes are carefully coordinating how they react to sun exposure across the whole area that is affected. Ultraviolet radiation damages DNA in skin cells, which causes melanin to be made. When your skin cells sense that harmful radiation is damaging your DNA, they send out a chemical distress signal. The melanocytes then respond by making more pigment. It's a feedback system that works better the more you use it. That's why people who spend time in the sun get better at protecting themselves naturally over time. But melanin does more than just keep the sun off of you. Recent studies have shown that these pigment cells are linked to the nervous system and may be involved in a wide range of functions, from hearing to brain function. The cells that give your skin its color are evolutionarily related to the cells that make up parts of your nervous system. This suggests that there are deep connections between protection, perception, and pigmentation. Before we go deeper, let's take a moment to admire this thin but strong skin. Even though it's only about as thick as a piece of plastic wrap in most places, it acts as your own security force, climate control system, and maintenance crew all in one. It stops you from drying out like a raisin, keeps harmful chemicals from getting into your blood, and even helps your body make vitamin D when you are in the sun. The epidermis is so good at keeping things out and water in that it can do this for your whole life. Think about how your body is made up of about 60% water, but you don't leak like a broken water balloon or swell up like a sponge when you take a bath. This selective permeability is made possible by the careful arrangement of cells and the waxy substances that fill in the gaps between them. Now let's go to the dermis, the middle layer of your skin, where the real architectural wonders start. The dermis is like the strong frame of a house, while the epidermis is like the shingles on a roof. This layer is usually about 4 times thicker than the epidermis. It's where your skin gets its strength, flexibility, and ability to feel things around it. The line between the epidermis and the dermis isn't straight. It's an undulating line that looks like rolling hills when seen through a microscope. The dermal-epidermal junction is a wavy surface that connects the two layers. This makes the bond between them stronger. The curves and folds make it stronger, just like how corrugated cardboard is stronger than flat cardboard. Collagen and elastin are the two main proteins that make up the dermis. They work together like dance partners. Collagen gives things structure and strength by making tough fibers that weave together like the threads in a tapestry. These collagen fibers are very strong. They are stronger than steel cables when you compare them pound for pound. The way these fibers are arranged isn't random. It follows patterns that show how your skin is stressed mechanically. The fibers line up in areas that stretch a lot to keep that from happening. In places where there is a lot of pressure, they weave together in a more basket-like way to spread out the forces. Elastin is what gives your skin the ability to stretch and bounce back after being pulled or pressed. Think of a trampoline for a second. The strong springs that give the bounce are like the elastin fibers in your body, and the strong fabric mat that holds your weight is like the collagen network. Together, they make a surface that is both supportive and responsive. This mix lets your skin stretch when you smile, bend when you move, and go back to its normal state when you're done moving. The amount of collagen and elastin in your body changes as you get older, and from one part of your body to another. Young skin has a lot of elastin in it, which makes it very bouncy. As we get older, our bodies make less elastin, and the elastin fibers we already have break apart and work less well. This is why skin loses its youthful elasticity over time. But collagen production doesn't stop when you get older. It just slows down. This is why your skin stays strong even as you get older. There are 2 layers in the dermis, the papillary dermis and the reticular dermis. The papillary dermis, which is closest to the epidermis, has fine collagen fibers that are arranged in a loose network. This layer has a lot of the blood vessels and nerve endings that feed the skin above it. The reticular dermis, which is the main part of the dermis, is made up of thicker, more tightly packed collagen bundles that give the skin most of its strength. The dermis has a complicated network of blood vessels that make pathways that are more complicated than any city's road system. These blood vessels, which range from big arteries that look like highways to tiny capillaries that look like side streets, do a lot of different things for your skin every day. They bring oxygen and nutrients to the cells that are working hard, take away waste, and help keep the body at the right temperature. This vascular network structure is a work of biological engineering. Blood vessels come into the dermis from below and split into smaller and smaller vessels as they get closer to the surface. Capillaries, which are the smallest blood vessels, make loops that bring blood as close to the epidermis as possible without actually entering it. These capillary loops are so small that red blood cells have to go through them one at a time, like cars on a narrow mountain road. These blood vessels open up when you get too hot, bringing more blood closer to the surface so heat can escape. That's why you might look flushed after working out or on a hot day. This vasodilation can make blood flow to the skin up to 30 times faster. turning your skin into a very good heat radiator. They get smaller when you're cold to keep warm blood deeper in your body and keep your core temperature stable. This is why your fingers and toes might look pale in the winter. This vascular dance happens on its own, without you having to think about it. It's like having a heating and cooling system that changes on its own throughout the day. It is very advanced how this vascular response is controlled. Nerve endings in the skin that are sensitive to temperature keep an eye on things and send signals to the brain, which then changes the size of blood vessels as needed. But there is also local control, which means that skin blood vessels can react to changes in temperature without waiting for the brain to tell them to. This dual control system makes sure that the body can quickly respond to temperature changes while still keeping everything in sync with its thermal needs. Your skin's communication system is a complex network of nerve fibers that runs through this vascular network and keeps you connected to your surroundings. There are different types of these nerves, and each one is good at sensing a different type of feeling. Some can feel light touches, like the feel of silk on your skin. Some react to pain, pressure, or temperature. There are even nerves that can feel vibrations, which is why you can feel your phone buzzing in your pocket. Your skin has different types of sensory receptors, which are like different types of musical instruments in an orchestra. Each one adds its own sound to the symphony of feeling. Merkel's discs, which are close to the surface, can feel light touch and texture. They're especially common in places like your fingertips and lips, where it's important to be able to tell the difference between things. Meissner's corpuscles are in the dermal papillae and respond to light and moving touch. They let you feel a soft touch or the brush of a feather. Pacinian corpuscles are onion-shaped structures that sense deep pressure and vibration. They are deeper in the dermis. You can feel the rumble of a truck passing by through the ground because these receptors can pick up vibrations that travel through solid objects. Ruffini endings respond to skin stretching and help you know where your fingers are and how they are moving. The nerve endings in your body have very different levels of sensitivity. For example, your fingertips have about 3,000 touch receptors per square inch, which makes them more sensitive than many scientific tools. Your back, on the other hand, has a lot fewer receptors per square inch. This is why you might not notice a small bug crawling there until it moves to a more sensitive area. Scientists call this difference in sensitivity a sensory homunculus, which is a map of how much brain area is used to process touch sensations from different parts of the body. If you drew a person with body parts that were the right size for how sensitive they are to touch, you'd get a strange creature with huge hands, lips, and tongue, but a small back and legs. Not only do the nerve fibers in your skin send information to your brain, but they also send signals back to your skin. The brain can change how sensitive your skin is by sending signals that make sensory receptors more or less sensitive. This is one way your brain filters sensory information, so you can ignore the feeling of your clothes while still being aware of new or possibly important sensations. The roots of your hair follicles are also in the dermis. Each one is a wonder of biological engineering. Each follicle is like a little factory that makes hair at a rate that depends on where it is and your own genes. Your scalp's follicles might make hair that grows 6 inches a year, but your eyebrow follicles work much more slowly. Follicles in your hair are some of the most active parts of your body. Depending on where they are, they go through cycles of growth, rest, and renewal that can last anywhere from a few months to several years. Most of the time, your hair follicles are in the growth phase, which means they are making hair, but some are resting and others are getting ready to lose their hair and start over. A sebaceous gland, a tiny structure that makes sebum, which is your skin's natural moisturizer, is connected to each hair follicle. People often get sebum wrong and say bad things about it, especially during puberty when hormones can make these glands work too hard. This natural oil, on the other hand, is very useful. It keeps your skin soft and adds another layer of protection against bacteria and other possible invaders. Sebaceous glands are holocrine glands, which means that they make their secretions by breaking down themselves. The cells in the gland fill with oil and then break open, letting their contents flow into the hair follicle. It's a kind of cellular sacrifice that happens all the time in your life. Your body makes sebum at different rates in different places. The highest amounts are on your face and scalp, which are the areas that need the most protection from the outside world. Sebum is made up of more than just oils. It also has wax esters, fatty acids, and other substances that kill germs. Your skin is basically always soaking up a custom-made moisturizer and antibiotic cream. Sebum itself doesn't cause the problems we think of when we think of oily skin. Instead, it's the way it interacts with bacteria and dead skin cells in clogged pores that does. Your sweat glands are also in the dermis. There are two main types of sweat glands, each with its own purpose and characteristics. Most of your body has eccrine glands that make the clear, odorless sweat that cools you down. These glands are especially common on your palms, soles and forehead, which are the parts of your body that need to cool down the most. You have between 2 and 4 million eccrine sweat glands, and when you work out or are in very hot weather, they can make up to 3 liters of sweat an hour. The eccrine glands are very good at what they do. They can take water out of your blood, filter out most of the salts and other dissolved substances, and then send the clean water to the surface of your skin, where it can cool down by evaporating. Evaporating just 1 liter of sweat can cool your body by about 10 degrees Fahrenheit by getting rid of about 580 calories of heat. The apocrine glands, which are mostly in your armpits and groin, make a thicker type of sweat that doesn't smell at first. When bacteria on your skin break down the proteins and fats in this sweat, they release the smell that we all know as body odor. These glands don't really work until puberty, which is interesting. They react to both heat and emotional stress and excitement. Apocrine sweat has pheromones and other chemical signals that might help people talk to each other and attract each other. Even though our sense of smell isn't as good as that of many other animals, studies show that we still use these secretions to send chemical messages to each other. The apocrine glands are actually the last parts of a more complex chemical communication system that our ancestors used before language developed. The way sweat glands are spread out on your body tells the story of how humans have changed over time. Compared to most mammals, our ancestors came up with a strange way to cool off. Instead of panting or looking for shade, humans evolved the ability to cool off by sweating a lot while still being active. This let our ancestors hunt and travel during the hottest parts of the day, when other animals had to take a break. We reach the subcutaneous layer, which is also called the hypodermis, as we go deeper. This is the deepest layer of your integumentary system. It acts as a soft cushion between your skin and the muscles and bones underneath. This layer is mostly made up of fat cells called adipocytes. It keeps you warm, stores energy, and protects your internal structures from damage. People in our culture often look down on the layer of fat under the skin, but it has important biological functions. These fat cells don't just sit around and store fat, they also help with metabolism, hormone production, and immune function. Adipocytes can grow or shrink a lot depending on how much energy your body needs. They also release hormones that affect your metabolism, appetite, and even your immune system. The thickness of this layer is very different from person to person, and from one part of your body to another. It is thicker in places like your hips and thighs, where it stores energy, and thinner in places like your eyelids and shins. This layer of fat is also very important for keeping your body at the right temperature. It works like the insulation in your home's walls to keep your core temperature steady. Genetics, hormones, age, and lifestyle all play a role in how fat is stored in the subcutaneous layer. Women generally possess a greater amount of subcutaneous fat compared to men, especially in the hip and thigh regions, whereas men are more prone to fat accumulation in the abdominal area. These differences are the result of evolutionary changes that have to do with reproduction and survival. The subcutaneous layer also holds your skin to the structures below it, with a network of connective tissue fibers called septi. These fibers keep your skin from sliding around too much while still letting it move smoothly over your muscles. These connecting fibers are partly what makes your skin snap back into place when you pinch it and let go. The structure of this connective tissue network is different in men and women, which is one reason why cellulite is more common in women. In women's subcutaneous tissue, the septi tend to run up and down, making chambers that let fat cells push up against the skin surface. In men, these connective tissue fibers usually run diagonally, which makes the network stronger and less likely to show dimpling. There is a remarkable process of renewal and repair going on all the time through all of these layers. Your skin is always sensing, reacting to, and changing to changes inside and outside of your body. For instance, when you get a small cut, your skin starts to heal in a way that would impress any emergency response team. The body starts to heal right away after an injury. First, the blood vessels in the area get smaller to stop the bleeding, and platelets rush to the area to make a protective clot. This quick response is followed by a complicated chain of cellular and molecular events that can last for weeks or even months, depending on how bad the injury is. Neutrophils, which are specialized cells, come within hours to clean up any bacteria that may have gotten in through the breach. These first responders are like biological hazmat teams because they have strong chemicals that can kill bacteria but also hurt healthy tissue if they aren't used carefully. They work quickly and then die, making room for the next group of cells that will help heal. Macrophages come next and clean up the damaged tissue and cell debris. But macrophages do more than just clean up. They also control the healing process by sending out chemical signals that tell other cells where to go and how to act when they get there. At the same time, cells in the deeper layers of the epidermis get chemical signals telling them to speed up their division and movement. The body makes new cells faster and sends them to the wound site, where they follow chemical trails like ants do when they smell something. New branches begin to grow on blood vessels in the dermis. These branches bring nutrients and oxygen to the tissue that is healing. Fibroblasts, the cells that make collagen, work harder to fix the damaged area by rebuilding its structural framework. These cells that build things can change from quiet maintenance cells to very active builders in just a few hours when they get the right signals. They make collagen and other proteins and things that are needed for tissue repair. You don't have to think about this whole process. It happens on its own. While you sleep, millions of cells are hard at work rebuilding, renewing, and keeping the protective layer around you in good shape. It shows how amazing biological systems are, that such complicated coordination can happen without you even noticing it. Your skin is also a complex chemical factory that makes things that are important for your health. When your skin cells are exposed to ultraviolet B radiation from the sun, they make vitamin D, which is important for many bodily processes, including bone health and immune function. This is why moderate sun exposure is good for you, but you have to be careful not to get too much UV damage. 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is found naturally in skin cells, is the first step in the process that makes vitamin D in your skin. When this chemical absorbs UVB radiation, it changes into pre-vitamin D3, which then changes into vitamin D3 on its own. Your liver and kidneys must then process this vitamin D3 before it can become the active hormone that controls how much calcium you absorb and how your bones grow. There are many things that affect how well your skin makes vitamin D, such as your skin color, age, the time of day, the season, your latitude, and even the level of air pollution. Because melanin absorbs some of the UV radiation needed to make vitamin D, people with darker skin need to be in the sun longer than people with lighter skin to get the same amount of vitamin D. The skin does a lot more than just protect the body from germs. Langerhans cells are specialized immune cells that patrol the epidermis. They act as sentries that can spot foreign substances and start the right immune responses. These cells can grab antigens, which are proteins from outside your body that shouldn't be there, and show them to other immune cells. This tells them what to look for and how to fight it. Your skin also makes antimicrobial peptides, which are natural antibiotics that help keep bad bacteria from getting infections. These molecular guardians work especially hard in places where bacteria are likely to build up, like hair follicles and sweat ducts. It's amazing to think that your skin is always fighting tiny battles for you, and most of the time it wins so decisively that you don't even know they happened. Your skin has a lot of antimicrobial compounds, such as defensins, cathelicidins, and dermcidin. These chemicals can break down bacterial cell walls, mess up bacterial metabolism, or stop bacteria from reproducing. Some are made all the time to stop infections, while others are made only when the skin shows signs of infection. Your skin's ability to control your body temperature is a work of biological engineering that works with the kind of accuracy that any thermostat maker would envy. For your body to work at its best, it needs to keep its core temperature within a very small range of just a few degrees Fahrenheit. Your skin helps make this happen in a number of ways that work together. When you get too hot, blood vessels close to the surface open up to let more heat escape through radiation. Your eccrine sweat glands work harder, making the moisture that will cool you down by evaporating. The tiny muscles that connect to your hair follicles, called erector pili muscles, also play a role by relaxing and letting your hairs lie flat against your skin, which makes it less insulated. The opposite happens when you're cold. To keep heat in, blood vessels near the surface get smaller, sweat production goes down, and the same erector pili muscles contract, which makes your hairs stand up and gives you goosebumps. This response doesn't work as well in humans as it did in our furry ancestors, but it's still a cute reminder of where we came from. The sympathetic nervous system controls the goosebump response. This is the same system that controls your fight or flight response. The link between how you feel and how your skin reacts is why you can get goosebumps from more than just being cold. Music, beautiful scenery, or emotional moments can also give you goosebumps. Your skin uses the same process to keep warm as it does to respond to beauty and emotion. It's amazing how well your skin can feel and respond to what's going on around you. Your skin has specialized receptors in different layers that can pick up on more than just the obvious sensations of touch, pressure, and temperature. It can also detect very small changes in texture, vibration, and even the direction of moving stimuli. Some of these receptors change quickly in response to new stimuli. This is why you stop feeling your clothes against your skin shortly after you put them on. This change lets your nervous system pay attention to new or changing sensations while ignoring things that are always there. Some give you constant updates on your pressure and position, which helps you stay aware of where your body is in space. Others only react to changes, letting you know when something new touches your skin or when the way you touch things changes. Your spinal cord and brain do a lot of complicated work to put together sensory information from your skin. Your nervous system doesn't just passively receive touch information, it actively processes, filters, and interprets these signals based on what you expect, what you've experienced before, and the situation. This is why the same physical stimulus can feel different in different situations. In one situation, a light touch might feel nice, but in another, it might be scary. The way these sensory receptors are spread out makes a map of sensitivity that is very different on different parts of your body. Your lips and fingertips are very sensitive because they have a lot of receptors that can pick up on very small details. Your back skin can still feel things, but it has a much coarser resolution, like the difference between an old computer monitor and a high-definition TV. This difference in sensitivity has had a huge impact on human culture. Our fingertips are so sensitive that they can read Braille and make fine art. Because other areas are less sensitive, we can comfortably wear clothes and carry backpacks without being bothered by sensory input all the time. Your skin is also a way for people to show who they are and how they feel. The way your skin ages, the patterns of your freckles and moles, and the scars that tell stories of adventures and accidents all add up to the unique look that makes you who you are. Even identical twins, who have the same genetic makeup, develop unique skin patterns and features over time as their skin reacts to different situations and environments. Skin has a lot more cultural meaning than just who you are. People have decorated, painted, tattooed, and changed their skin in many ways throughout history to show their cultural identity, beliefs, social status, and artistic vision. Because the skin can hold pigments and heal around foreign objects, it has been a living canvas for human creativity in every culture and continent. Tattooing is one of the oldest forms of art. It works by putting pigment particles in the dermis, which are too big for the immune system to get rid of, but small enough to stay in the tissue. The dermal layer doesn't shed cells like the epidermis does, which is why tattoos last. But tattoos do fade over time because immune cells slowly remove some of the pigment particles and the skin naturally ages and changes. Scarification is a form of body art that is done on purpose to make raised scars. It is found in many cultures. This works by damaging the dermis in a controlled way, which heals with extra collagen, making raised, textured patterns. These customs show that people have known for a long time that skin is more than just a protective barrier. It's also a way to communicate, express oneself artistically, and show one's cultural identity. Our skin tells the story of our lives in both obvious and subtle ways as we get older. These changes, like the skin getting thinner, the body making less collagen and elastin, and the cells turning over more slowly, are all normal effects of aging. But knowing how these processes work can help us appreciate how strong this organ is and how well it works for us for many years. The lines that form around our mouths and eyes often follow the shapes of the expressions we make most often. Concentration furrows, worry lines, and laugh lines are like maps of our emotional landscapes. They are made by the repeated contractions of the muscles underneath. These marks aren't flaws to hide. They can be seen as badges of a life well lived, proof of happiness shared and problems faced. Skin ages by changing at every level, from the molecular level to the level that can be seen. Over time, DNA damage builds up, making it harder for cells to work at their best. Collagen and elastin production slows down, and the fibers that are already there become cross-linked and less flexible. The rate at which the epidermis renews itself goes down, which causes dead skin cells to build up on the surface and make the skin look dull. Photoaging is the process by which sun exposure speeds up many parts of skin aging. Ultraviolet radiation directly damages DNA and creates free radicals that mess with how cells work. Skin that has been exposed to the sun a lot over the years shows more obvious signs of aging than skin that has been protected. Even as skin gets older, it still does its important jobs. The barrier stays the same, the sensation stays the same, and the temperature control changes to meet the needs of the body. The skin of a 90-year-old may look and feel different from that of a 20-year-old, but it still does the same basic things that have kept people safe and comfortable for thousands of years. One amazing thing about skin is how it changes to fit different places and ways of life. A pianist's hands get calluses in different patterns than a rock climber's hands. Skin that gets a lot of sun gets darker and thicker. When areas are rubbed together a lot, they get thicker to protect them. This adaptability shows how responsive the skin is. It's not a static covering, it's a dynamic organ that changes based on what is asked of it. Professional musicians often have certain patterns of skin thickening on their fingertips that show what instrument they play and how they play it. These changes happen slowly, and they can get so specific that a skilled observer might be able to tell what instrument someone plays just by looking at their hands. In the same way, people who work with their hands in certain ways get calluses, scars, and skin texture that are unique to their job. These changes show how amazing the skin is at getting stronger when it is under stress over and over again, while still being able to feel and move in areas where fine touch discrimination is important. New things about how skin works are being found all the time by modern research. Researchers have found that skin cells have their own circadian rhythms, which means that they are more active in repairing and renewing themselves at certain times of the day and night. This discovery has effects on when medications might work best, when they are absorbed through the skin, and when it is most important to protect against UV damage. Your body's master circadian rhythm is in sync with the clock in your skin, but it can also respond to changes in the environment around you. This means that the peak activity times for different parts of your skin may be a little different from each other, depending on how much light, heat, and other environmental factors they get. This circadian control has an effect on everything from how fast cells divide to how many protective compounds are made. Learning about these rhythms is helping dermatologists come up with new ways to treat skin problems. For example, they might time treatments to coincide with times when the skin is most receptive or healing. We also know that the skin has its own community of microorganisms, called the skin microbiome, that are important for keeping the body healthy. These tiny residents help keep harmful germs away, keep the pH levels where they should be, and may even affect how the immune system works. The community of helpful bacteria and other microbes in your body is as unique as your fingerprint and changes as you get older, get sick, move, and change your lifestyle. There are a lot of different types of bacteria on your skin, and they all live in different places on your body. The oily parts of your face may have different bacteria than the dry skin on your arms. The warm, moist environment of your armpits is another place where bacteria live. These communities are in a delicate balance, with helpful organisms keeping harmful ones in check. When this balance of microbes is thrown off by things like harsh soaps, antibiotics, or other things, skin problems can happen. Changes in the skin microbiome are linked to a lot of common skin problems, like acne and eczema. This new knowledge is leading to treatments that work with the microbes that live on your skin instead of against them. Your skin and the microbes that live on it are a great example of mutualism in nature. You give these organisms a place to live and food, and in return, they protect you and help keep your skin healthy. We are just starting to understand how complicated and important this partnership is. It has been going on for millions of years. Research is still uncovering more about the skin's role in social communication, which is another interesting thing about it. In addition to the clear visual cues of facial expressions and body language, skin also plays a role in chemical communication through pheromones and other molecular signals. This part of how people talk to each other is much more subtle than in many other animals. However, studies suggest that we may unconsciously share information through chemicals made by our skin that affect attraction, mood, and even the timing of biological rhythms. The ability of people to sense chemical signals through skin contact is most clearly shown by the fact that women who live together often have synchronized menstrual cycles. We don't fully understand how it works, but it seems to involve chemical communication through skin contact or being close to each other. This is a remnant of the more complex chemical communication systems utilized by our evolutionary predecessors. Studies have shown that people can pick up on chemical signals from other people that show fear, aggression, and other emotional states, often without even realizing it. We don't smell these signals with our conscious sense of smell. Instead, we detect them with a more basic chemical sensing system that works below the level of awareness. These subtle chemical messages are sent and received by your skin all day long. Touch, which goes through the skin's sensory network, is very important for emotional health and bonding with other people. Skin-to-skin contact between parents and babies is very important for their growth and development. It helps control the baby's temperature, heart rate, and stress hormones. This need for touch lasts throughout life. Studies have shown that appropriate physical contact can lower blood pressure, lower stress, and improve immune function. Touch is very important for human growth and development. Compared to premature infants who don't get this kind of touch stimulation, those who do get regular gentle massage through skin contact show better weight gain, better sleep patterns, and better immune function. The skin is the first thing a new person interacts with in the world. It protects them and gives them important sensory experiences that help their brains grow. The skin continues to be very important for controlling emotions and making friends throughout life. Pleasant touch sensations that are processed through skin receptors cause the release of oxytocin, which is sometimes called the bonding hormone. This chemical response helps us understand why caring touch, like massage, hugging, and other forms of touch can have such a big impact on mood and health. People have always known that touch can heal, and now science is proving it. Massage therapy, which mainly works by stimulating skin receptors, has been shown to have effects on pain perception, muscle tension, circulation, and even neurotransmitters that help regulate mood. The skin is really a way for both physical and emotional healing to happen. Different kinds of touch turn on different pathways in the nervous system. One set of nerve fibers and brain areas processes light, gentle touch, while another set processes deeper pressure. This is why different kinds of touch can change your mood and body in so many different ways. A light touch activates the brain's emotional and social processing centers, while a deeper massage pressure activates pathways that help with pain relief and muscle relaxation. The skin's sensitivity to touch also changes depending on how you feel and who you're with. When you're stressed or anxious, your skin may become overly sensitive, which can make normal touch feel bad. On the other hand, good social interactions can make you less sensitive to pain through pathways in the skin. This two-way relationship between emotional state and touch sensitivity shows how closely your skin and nervous system are linked. Different cultures have different ways of touching and accepting skin-to-skin contact, which shows how important it is to society. In some cultures, touching each other is a normal part of socializing, while in others, people keep more space between them. These cultural norms affect how people feel and understand touch, showing that the skin's sensory experiences are affected by more than just biology. They are also affected by learning and social context. The way the skin reacts to changes in the environment shows how flexible and strong it is. When your skin is cold, it doesn't just sit there and deal with the change in temperature, it actively adapts in a number of ways. Blood vessels narrow to keep heat in, hair follicles contract to keep heat in, and skin cells change their metabolic processes so they can work well at lower temperatures. Exposure to high altitudes also causes changes in how the skin works. At high altitudes, the lower oxygen levels and higher levels of ultraviolet radiation cause changes in the metabolism of skin cells and the production of pigments. People who live at high altitudes often have more blood vessels in their skin and make more natural compounds that protect them from the sun. The way skin adapts to different climates is also amazing. People who live in very dry places have skin that is better at holding on to moisture. This is because the barrier function and sebum production have changed. People who live in humid tropical climates may have skin that is better at cooling down because it can sweat and evaporate more quickly. These changes can happen quickly, in a matter of weeks or months, when the environment changes. They can also be longer-term changes that have happened over generations. The differences in skin thickness, colour and oil production among different groups of people are examples of how humans have adapted to different environments over time. The skin can do more than just heal wounds. It can also do amazing things like regenerate and adapt. When skin is rubbed or pressed on a lot, it thickens in the right places to protect itself while staying flexible where it's needed. This response is so accurate that the patterns of callus formation can tell you a lot about how someone uses their hands or feet. The way calluses form is a very interesting example of how smart the skin is. The thickening mostly happens in the stratum corneum and stratum granulosum, which protect the deeper layers that have blood vessels and nerves. It's so precise that calluses only form where they're needed and stay at the right thickness to protect without getting in the way of function. The skin's ability to change its structure in response to certain functional needs is even more amazing. The skin on the feet of professional ballet dancers changes in ways that let them dance en pointe. Musicians develop callus patterns that protect their fingers while still letting them feel what they're playing. These changes are the result of both conscious training and unconscious biological responses working together. The skin can heal some types of scars that can actually make things work better instead of just bringing them back to normal. When done right, wound healing can make tissue stronger than the original skin in some places while keeping normal flexibility and feeling in others. This selective strengthening shows how advanced the skin's repair systems are. People don't always realize how important sleep is for the health and function of the skin. Your skin repairs and renews itself more quickly while you sleep. During deep sleep, growth hormone levels are at their highest. This makes cells divide and proteins in the skin grow faster. This is when most of the day's cellular damage gets fixed, and when new collagen and elastin are made the best. Not getting enough sleep has clear effects on the way skin looks and works. Studies show that people who don't get enough sleep regularly have more wrinkles, uneven skin tone, and less skin elasticity than people who do. Sleep deprivation also weakens the skin's barrier function, which makes it easier for water to escape and makes it less able to protect itself from environmental stressors. The time you sleep is just as important as how long you sleep. Your skin's circadian rhythms tell it when to repair itself, which usually happens during the deep sleep phases that happen early in the night. Not just the amount of sleep you get, but also when you sleep is important. When you sleep, blood flow to your skin increases a lot. This brings nutrients and oxygen to help with repair processes and takes away waste products that build up during the day. People often have a healthy glow after a good night's sleep because their skin is actively renewing itself, not just because they aren't tired. The way your skin reacts to stress shows how closely your mind and body are connected. Long-term stress can hurt your skin in many ways, such as by changing your hormones, lowering your immune system and changing how blood flows. Stress hormones like cortisol can make it harder for the body to heal and make inflammation worse all over the body. Stress rash is a skin condition that shows how your emotions can affect how your skin works. When you're really stressed, your immune system can go into overdrive, which can cause your skin to become inflamed even when there are no outside irritants. This shows that your skin is more than just a barrier between you and the outside world. It also shows how you feel emotionally and physically. Stress that lasts a long time can also change the balance of good and bad microorganisms that live on your skin. This change can cause a number of skin problems and even lower your immune system's ability to fight off infections, since the skin microbiome helps train and support your immune system. The link between stress and skin healing is especially strong. People who are under a lot of stress for a long time may heal wounds more slowly, and the quality of healing may also suffer. Stress hormones that get in the way of the inflammatory processes that are needed for proper wound healing cause this effect. On the other hand, relaxation techniques and stress reduction can have clear benefits for the health of your skin. People who meditate, do yoga, or use other stress relief methods often have healthier skin, heal faster, and have skin that works better overall. This shows that taking care of your skin means more than just putting things on it. It also means paying attention to your mental and emotional health. The skin's connection to nutrition shows how well it responds to changes inside the body. Your skin's health and look depend on more than just what you put on it. They also depend on what you eat and how well your body uses nutrients. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids are all important for keeping skin healthy and working properly. Vitamin C is very important for making collagen, and not getting enough of it can make wounds heal slowly and make skin weak. Vitamin A helps cells turn over and repair themselves, while vitamin E is an important antioxidant that protects skin cells from damage. The B vitamins help skin cells break down food and make energy. The skin needs more than just water to stay hydrated. The foods you eat not only keep you hydrated, but they also contain chemicals that help your skin keep its moisture barrier. For example, foods high in omega-3 fatty acids give the lipids that seal the spaces between skin cells the building blocks they need. This helps keep water in and the barrier working. Changes in diet don't show up on the skin right away. It usually takes weeks or months for changes in diet to show up in the skin's appearance and function. This delay happens because nutrients have to support the needs of vital organs before they can help the skin, and because skin cells take time to move from the deeper layers where they are made to the surface where they can be seen. Dehydration has small but important effects on how the skin works. Even mild dehydration can make the skin less elastic and slow down the healing of small cuts and scrapes. When the body doesn't have enough water, it can't sweat as well, which makes it harder for the skin to control its temperature. But the skin is very good at keeping water when it needs to. And it does this by lowering the amount of water that gets lost through the barrier function when there isn't enough water inside. The skin's ability to take in things from the outside world is both a way to protect itself and a possible weakness. The skin barrier's selective permeability lets good things like some vitamins and medicines through, while keeping bad things like chemicals out. But this system isn't perfect, and some harmful substances can get through the skin's defenses. Researchers have learned how substances get through the skin, which has led to the creation of transdermal drug delivery systems. These are medications that are absorbed through the skin instead of being taken by mouth. This way of giving medicine can keep drug levels steady and avoid some of the side effects that come with taking medicine by mouth. Nicotine patches for quitting smoking and hormone replacement patches are two common examples. There are many things that affect how well topical products are absorbed by the skin. These include the size and chemical makeup of the molecules, the state of the skin barrier, the presence of agents that make absorption easier or harder, and the length of time the product is in contact with the skin. The face and genitals are examples of areas of skin with thinner barrier layers that let more things through than areas with thicker skin, like the palms and soles. To make cosmetic and therapeutic skin products, you need to know a lot about how these absorption principles work. Not only do products need to have active ingredients, but they also need to have delivery systems that can get these ingredients to the right layers of the skin where they can work their magic. The way skin reacts to clothes and other things that touch it often shows how flexible and tolerant it is. Your skin has to keep protecting you while it gets used to the different textures, temperatures, and chemical properties of fabrics. The fact that skin can stay healthy while being in constant contact with clothes shows how strong its barrier function is. Different kinds of fabric affect the skin in different ways. Natural fibers like cotton and silk usually let air and moisture move freely, but synthetic materials can hold heat and moisture against the skin. The skin changes how much sweat it makes, how much sebum it secretes, and even how many bacteria it has to deal with these different conditions. The difference between how soft fabric feels on skin and how sensitive skin is shows how complicated skin sensation is. The way something feels on your skin depends not only on its physical properties, but also on things like moisture, temperature, and even how you feel at the time. Depending on these factors, the same fabric might feel different. This shows that your nervous system actively builds your skin's sensory experience instead of just recording it. Allergic reactions to clothing materials show that the skin is part of the immune system. Your skin can learn to recognize and react to things that could hurt it, like fabrics, dyes, or fabric treatments. This is called contact dermatitis. This immune memory function helps your skin respond more quickly to repeated exposures, which gives you faster protection, but can also make you more sensitive. The way your skin changes with the seasons shows how it interacts with the world around it. In the winter, cold air and low humidity can make it harder for the skin to keep moisture in, and indoor heating can make it even drier. Your skin reacts by changing how much sebum it makes, how blood flows, and how well it protects itself from moisture loss. Summer brings new problems, like more sun exposure, higher temperatures, and often more humidity. The skin adjusts to the warm, moist conditions that can encourage bacterial growth by making more melanin to protect itself from the sun, making sweat glands work harder to cool it down, and changing the types of bacteria that live on it. These changes that happen with the seasons happen slowly and automatically, usually without us even realizing it, but knowing about these natural cycles can help you understand why skincare routines that work well in one season might not work as well in another. Your skin really does change throughout the year, which shows how responsive it is. The times when the seasons change can be hard on skin because it has to adjust to new weather conditions. This is why people often have temporary skin problems when the seasons change. Their skin is getting used to the new conditions. When you move to a new place, your skin has to adapt to the new climate, the different minerals in the water, the different levels of pollution, and the different patterns of UV exposure. It can take a few months for these changes to happen, which is why people sometimes notice temporary changes in their skin when they move to a very different place. The skin's connection to light goes beyond just protecting it from the sun and making vitamin D. Different wavelengths of light can change how skin cells work and how they look. For example, blue light from electronic devices can change the skin's circadian rhythms and may cause some types of skin damage. Red light therapy uses certain wavelengths to get cells to repair themselves and make more collagen. The way the skin reacts to artificial lighting shows how sensitive it is to all types of light. People who spend a lot of time under artificial light may notice changes in their skin's natural rhythms and the amount of vitamin D their bodies make. This has made people more interested in lighting systems that look more like how sunlight comes in naturally. We feel infrared radiation as heat, but it also affects how our skin works in important ways. Moderate exposure to infrared light can help circulation and healing, but too much exposure can speed up skin aging and damage. The skin's heat sensors give feedback that usually stops harmful overexposure, but this system can be broken by certain medical conditions or by people who are aware of it. The skin's ability to reflect and absorb different wavelengths of light is one of the things that gives it the healthy look we all know and love. The way light interacts with the skin's surface texture, color, and blood flow gives the skin tone and condition a complicated look. Knowing these optical properties can be useful in many fields, from cosmetics to medical diagnostics. As we near the end of our gentle journey through the layers of the skin, It's worth thinking about how amazing this organ is that we often take for granted. Your skin is doing thousands of things at once all the time, without you even having to think about it. It's keeping an eye on your surroundings, controlling your temperature, fighting off possible threats, healing small wounds, making important vitamins, and keeping you safe in its protective embrace. One of biology's greatest achievements is putting all of these functions together into a single, well-coordinated system. Your skin is tough and soft at the same time. It is also sensitive and protective, and it lets things in and keeps things out. It keeps the basic functions that keep you healthy and comfortable while changing all the time to fit new situations. When you feel the warmth of the sun on your face, the coolness of water on your hands, or the touch of a loved one, remember that these things are the result of millions of years of evolution. Your skin is more than just a barrier between you and the outside world. It's the part of your body that lets you feel the world in all its different textures, temperatures, and sensations. The skin plays a role in human experience that goes beyond the physical to include emotional, social, and even spiritual aspects. We all know that the phrases thick-skinned and thin-skinned mean that our skin somehow shows how emotionally strong or weak we are. Your skin is more than just a covering, it's a part of who you are. Skin's amazing ability to heal itself gives us hope and strength when we get hurt or sick. The skin is different from most organs in that it can often heal completely from serious damage, bringing back both its function and its look. This ability to heal isn't limitless, but it's much bigger than most people think, and it lasts for the rest of their lives, even into old age. Scars, calluses, and other changes to the skin show that it remembers things that have happened to you in the past. This is like writing your own history on your body. Every mark tells a story of how someone survived, changed, or healed. Instead of seeing these marks as flaws, we could see them as proof of how well your skin protects and preserves you through the ups and downs of life. The fact that human skin comes in so many different colors, textures, thicknesses, and response patterns shows how adaptable this organ system is. What looks like a simple covering is really a complex, highly adaptable biological system that has allowed humans to live in every type of environment on Earth, from the Arctic tundra to the tropical rainforests, and from sea level to the tops of high mountains. Skin science has a bright future, and there are many exciting things that could happen that would help us learn more about and care for this amazing organ. New ways to fix damaged skin may soon be found through research into stem cell therapies, bioengineered skin substitutes, and advanced wound healing techniques. Research on the skin microbiome is showing new ways to stop and treat skin diseases by helping good microbial communities grow. As we learn more about how skin ages, we can find better ways to keep it healthy for the rest of our lives. Researchers are not just looking for ways to hide or reverse the signs of aging. Instead, they are looking for ways to help the skin do its job and adapt as we get older. Your skin will keep working quietly to repair and renew itself while you sleep tonight. In the deepest layers, cells will divide and start their month-long journey to the surface. To help keep your ideal sleeping temperature, blood vessels will change their size. Sensory receptors will stay alert to important changes while ignoring normal sensations that could keep you from sleeping. Millions of cells will work in the dark to fix any damage from the day, make barriers stronger that may have been weakened, and get ready for the challenges of tomorrow. This amazing organ started to grow when you were still in your mother's womb. It will keep doing its job faithfully, changing and adapting to whatever life throws at you. Circadian rhythms in the skin will sync up your body's repair processes with the natural cycle of day and night. During your deepest sleep, your body will release the most growth hormone, which is what your skin needs to renew itself. Your core body temperature will drop a little, which will let energy that was being used to keep your body temperature stable be used for cell repair and maintenance instead. Your skin is probably the most amazing thing about you. It connects you to everyone who has ever lived. Even though we all look different, come from different places, and have had different experiences, we all have this one thing in common: our anatomy. We are all human because we have the same basic structure, the same important functions, and the same processes of renewal and protection that are always going on. When someone else's skin touches yours, it creates a connection that goes beyond words. Two complicated biological systems come into contact with each other and talk to each other using pressure, temperature, texture, and even chemical signals. It's a way of talking that is older than language and more basic than thought. Your skin has been with you since the beginning of your development. It has grown and changed with you, adapting to your lifestyle, environment, and experiences. It will stay by your side for the rest of your life, asking for little in return except for reasonable care and protection. As you fall asleep, know that you are safely wrapped in one of biology's most advanced creations. This is the gentle rhythm of your breathing and the steady beating of your heart. Your skin, this gentle guardian that has protected you every moment since birth, will continue to watch over you all night, making sure you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to touch the world again with the amazing sensitivity and strength of your integumentary embrace. The line between your inner self and the outside world isn't a wall. It's a bridge that connects rather than separates. Your skin is always talking to the world around you. It gets information, reacts to changes, and adds its own small effects to the world around you. When you wake up in the morning, your skin will have renewed itself once more, shedding the cells on the surface from the day before and giving you a fresh interface for the new day. You will have new sensory experiences and face new challenges, and your amazing skin will be there to guide, protect, and connect you through it all. Good night, fellow travelers, on this amazing journey of being human. May your rest be peaceful, your skin's renewal quick, and your tomorrow full of beautiful feelings waiting to be discovered through the soft layers of your most loyal protector. Sleep well, knowing that the amazing organ that surrounds and defines you is still quietly working to keep you safe, protect you, and get you ready for whatever amazing things tomorrow may bring. Tonight, guys, we're going to learn about the nervous system, but not in the crazy electric way you might think. Instead, we'll learn how this amazing network of cells and pathways makes the most peaceful times in your life. We'll walk together through the quiet hallways of your brain as it gets ready for sleep. We'll meet the soft chemical messengers that guide you to sleep and learn how your body's most complicated system becomes your most trusted friend in sleep. Instead of seeing your nervous system as a buzzing electrical grid, picture it as a huge old library that is closing. The day's busy readers have left. The harsh fluorescent lights have dimmed to warm amber, and now the sacred ritual of organizing, filing away, and getting ready for tomorrow's discoveries begins. Tonight we'll look at the nervous system that gently guides you into sleep, not the one that wakes you up with morning alarms. Let's start our journey in the place we know best, your brain, which is a 3-pound universe that lives safely inside your skull. But tonight, we won't think of it as your body's command center barking orders. Instead, think of it as an old, wise conductor getting an orchestra ready for its last and most beautiful movement of the day. Your neurons are like musicians getting ready to play the most relaxing symphony ever written, the music of sleep. You see, your brain isn't just one organ, it's made up of different neighborhoods, each with its own personality and job. As night falls, these neighborhoods slowly change from the busy activity of day to the calm rhythms of night. The cerebral cortex, the wrinkled outer layer of your brain where your conscious thoughts dance when you're awake, starts to calm down. The millions of neurons that spent the day processing information, making decisions, and making memories now start to slow down, like streetlights going out one by one across a city at midnight. This change doesn't happen all at once like flipping a switch. Instead, it happens slowly, like a sunset, with colors changing from bright gold to soft amber to deep purple without anyone noticing. Your cortex has different parts that need to wind down at different times this evening. The visual cortex, which worked hard all day to make sense of the stream of images coming in through your eyes, starts to let go of the outside world first. The auditory regions, which processed every sound from birds singing in the morning to people talking at night, begin to ignore the less important sounds of everyday life. But this quieting isn't random or out of control. It follows patterns that are written into your DNA and have been guiding human sleep for hundreds of thousands of years. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is a small group of cells deep in your brain that acts as your body's master clock. Imagine a patient old lighthouse keeper looking out over the water for signs of darkness, ready to start the evening's gentle ritual of guiding ships safely to port. This amazing timepiece, which is only as big as a grain of rice, has about 20,000 neurons that pulse in time with the rotation of the Earth. These cells get messages from your eyes about how bright the world is during the day. But when night falls, they start to put together the most complicated biological symphony you'll ever hear. The change from being awake to being asleep. The suprachiasmatic nucleus doesn't do this by itself. It works with other timing centers in your body to make what scientists call a hierarchy of biological clocks. Every organ, tissue, and even single cell has its own rhythm. Your liver has its own clock that helps it break down nutrients. Your muscles have clocks that tell them when to grow and fix themselves. Your immune system has clocks that tell it when to be most careful about getting sick. All of these peripheral timekeepers look to your suprachiasmatic nucleus as their conductor, following its lead as it responds to the daily cycle of light and darkness. The first movement of this symphony starts with the slow lowering of a hormone you might not expect: cortisol. Cortisol is a gentle motivator during the day that helps you stay alert and focused. It naturally rises in the morning, giving you the energy you need to face the day's challenges. It also naturally ebbs and flows depending on how stressed or active you are. But when your master clock knows that night is coming, it tells your adrenal glands to make less cortisol. Imagine the conductor's baton slowly lowering, telling the brass section to stop playing. This suppression of cortisol is very important because cortisol and sleep are very closely linked. Having too much cortisol in your blood will keep you awake and anxious, with your mind racing with thoughts and your body tense and ready to act. When cortisol levels drop in the evening, your nervous system gets one of its first signals that it's time to switch from the active mode of day to the restorative mode of night. A small, pinecone-shaped gland in the center of your brain, called the pineal, starts its nightly routine at the same time. The pineal gland is one of the most beautiful parts of the human body. Philosophers used to call it the seat of the soul, but we now know it as the source of something just as magical: melatonin. The pineal gland is located between the two hemispheres of your brain. It is connected to your visual system through a complicated pathway that lets it detect changes in light, even though it is deep inside your skull. When it gets dark, this tiny gland starts to release melatonin into your bloodstream, like a soft mist spreading over a calm lake at dusk. Melatonin levels stay low during the day and start to rise as evening approaches. This is a pattern that happens every time. The most production happens in the middle of the night, usually between 2 and 4 a.m. After that, it slowly goes down until dawn. A lot of people think that melatonin is a sleeping pill that your body makes, but it's not. It's more like a soft whisper, a chemical lullaby that travels through your blood to receptors all over your nervous system. When melatonin touches these receptors, they start to change how your brain works from the bright, sharp focus of the day to the soft, flowing rhythms of sleep. Melatonin doesn't make you sleep. It just opens the door and gently asks you to come in. There aren't equal amounts of melatonin receptors in your brain. They group together in places that are important for controlling sleep, especially in the suprachiasmatic nucleus itself. This creates a feedback loop in which melatonin affects the master clock that starts melatonin production. This helps to stabilize and strengthen your circadian rhythms. It's like a grandfather clock that not only tells time, but also listens to its own ticking to make sure it stays in perfect time. But getting ready for sleep isn't just about turning off systems that are active during the day. It also needs to gently wake up sleep-promoting pathways that have been patiently waiting their turn. Clusters of neurons in a part of the brain called the ventrolateral preoptic area, which we'll call the sleep center, start to release a chemical called GABA. Melatonin is a soft whisper at night, while GABA is a warm hug. Gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, is the main neurotransmitter that stops your nervous system from working. In other words, it's the chemical that tells other neurons to slow down, talk more quietly, and get into a calmer rhythm. Think of GABA as a kind librarian who walks through the stacks at closing time and puts a finger to her lips to tell everyone to be quiet. Your sleep center's neurons don't just release GABA at random times. They make a complex network that can feel how your brain and body are doing and react to signals about your stress levels, fatigue, circadian time, and even your mood. When these neurons that help you sleep sense that it's time to rest, they start to work harder and send out waves of GABA that spread through your nervous system like ripples on a pond. As GABA spreads its calming effect through your brain, something wonderful starts to happen in your cerebral cortex. The beta waves that made your mind alert and thinking start to slow down and change into alpha waves. The brain's alpha waves are like a deep, satisfied sigh. They stand for that calm time between waking up and going to sleep, when your mind is still aware, but not actively trying to think or solve problems. This change from beta to alpha waves is a big change in how your brain processes information. When beta waves are in charge, your neurons fire in patterns that are mostly independent and happen at a high frequency. This helps with focused attention, analytical thinking, and active problem solving. But when alpha waves start to appear, your neurons start to work together, firing in longer, slower rhythms that help you relax and think about yourself. When your brain switches to alpha waves, the activity in its network also changes. When you are awake and alert, your brain keeps what neuroscientists call task-positive networks. These are groups of brain areas that work together to focus your attention on the outside world and help you reach your goals. But as alpha waves get stronger, these task-positive networks start to quiet down, and other networks become more important. The default mode network is one of the most important networks that comes to life when you relax. When your mind isn't focused on anything in particular, like when you're mentally wandering, this network becomes active. The default mode network is linked to self-reflection, memory consolidation, and the kind of loose associative thinking that often happens before you go to sleep. This change isn't sudden, like flipping a switch. It's more like how daylight slowly fades into twilight. Your neurons, which may have been firing 30 or 40 times a second when you were really focused, are now firing at a slower pace. They start to sync up with each other, making waves of electrical activity that move across your brain like gentle swells on a calm ocean. As this synchronization gets stronger, your brain waves slow down even more, going into theta rhythms. Theta waves, which happen 4 to 8 times a second, are linked to the sleepy state just before sleep, when the edges of reality start to blur and the first wisps of dreams start to form. Your thoughts become less straight and more connected. The logical connections that guided your thoughts throughout the day yield to the more fluid and imaginative connections that will soon blossom into dreams. Theta waves are interesting because they show a state of consciousness that is not fully awake or fully asleep. When you're in this theta state, your mind is more open to making strange connections and getting creative ideas. A lot of artists and inventors say that their best ideas come to them when they are sleepy and in a theta state, either right before they go to bed or right after they wake up. Your logical and critical thinking systems have let their guard down, letting more fun and creative neural processes come to the surface. Your thalamus, which is an egg-shaped structure deep in your brain that acts as a relay station for sensory information, starts to change in one of the most amazing ways in all of neuroscience during this time. Your thalamus has been busy all day, taking in information from your senses and deciding which ones you should pay attention to. Like a skilled air traffic controller, it has been able to handle the constant flow of sights, sounds, smells, and feelings that want your attention. Not only does the thalamus pass on sensory information, but it also actively sorts and prioritizes it based on what you need and what you're paying attention to right now. Your thalamus helps you focus on your friend's voice and block out the noise around you when you're talking in a busy restaurant. It makes visual signals that could be key-like objects more clear, while making other visual input less clear when you're looking for your keys. One of the most important things that consciousness does is this selective attention process. But when it's time to sleep, your thalamus starts to close the gates. It begins to block out more and more sensory information from the outside world. Sleep researchers call this sensory gating. For example, the sounds of traffic outside your window become background noise. You stop being aware of how the sheets feel against your skin. You won't notice the small changes in the temperature of the room that happen during the day. The thalamus isn't shutting down. It's just switching from connecting you to the outside world to keeping you from being disturbed while you sleep. Your nervous system does this sensory gating for you, and it's one of the most caring things it does. It knows that sleep isn't just the lack of wakefulness, it's a different state of mind that needs its own special environment. Your thalamus is like a loyal guardian that stands watch at the gates of awareness and makes sure that only the most important signals, like a crying child, a smoke alarm, or the touch of a loved one, can get through to your peaceful sleep. The thalamus does this by changing the electrical properties of its neurons, which lets some signals through and blocks others. Thalamic neurons fire in a steady, rhythmic pattern called tonic firing when you are awake. This lets them send sensory information to the cortex accurately. But when sleep is near, these neurons change to a firing pattern called burst firing, in which they go from being very active to being very quiet. This burst firing pattern works like a filter that keeps most sensory information from getting to your cortex, but lets through signals that are very important or strong. It's like having a high-tech security system that can tell the difference between a leaf falling on the roof and someone trying to break in. When you first fall asleep, the thalamus is very picky about what information it thinks is worth your time. As your brain gets deeper into this safe state, other parts of it start to get ready for sleep in their own special ways. Your brainstem, which is the oldest part of your nervous system and controls basic life functions like breathing and heart rate, starts to coordinate the physical changes that happen when you fall asleep. Neurons in the brainstem release chemicals that start to calm your muscles, slow your breathing, and lower your heart rate. The locus coeruleus is a part of the brainstem that is very important for sleep. It is also the main source of the neurotransmitter norepinephrine. Norepinephrine keeps you alert and ready to deal with problems or opportunities while you are awake. During the day, the neurons in the locus coeruleus fire all the time, releasing norepinephrine that keeps you awake. But as bedtime gets closer, something amazing happens. The locus coeruleus starts to calm down. The neurons that have been firing all day start to calm down, and the norepinephrine levels in your brain start to go down. This drop in norepinephrine is like taking away one of the main supports for your waking consciousness. It lets your brain settle into the different neural patterns that help you sleep. When the locus coeruleus calms down, it affects your whole nervous system. Norepinephrine usually helps with memory, attention, and emotional responses. Your ability to stay focused naturally decreases as its levels drop. Your feelings become less intense and more dreamy. The strong mental focus that comes with being awake starts to fade and blur around the edges. The Rafe nuclei are another important part of the brainstem for sleep. They make most of the serotonin in your brain. People often think of serotonin as a feel-good neurotransmitter, but it has a more complicated role in sleep. Serotonin helps keep your mood stable and supports different parts of your thinking during the day. But like norepinephrine, serotonin levels go down as sleep gets closer, which helps calm down the brain systems that keep us awake. When norepinephrine and serotonin levels go down, it makes room for other neurotransmitter systems to become more important. As these chemicals that help you stay awake go away, systems that help you sleep become more powerful. The GABA system we talked about before takes over and spreads its calming effect throughout the brain. When you're awake, adenosine, a chemical that builds up in the brain as a result of neural activity, reaches levels that make you sleepy and sleepy. Adenosine is especially interesting because it's how your brain keeps track of how long you've been awake. Your neurons use a molecule called ATP to get energy throughout the day as they work to process information and stay awake. Adenosine is one of the things that comes out when ATP is broken down to free its energy. Your brain builds up more adenosine the longer you stay awake. Sleep researchers call the rising levels of adenosine sleep pressure. This is a biological urge to sleep that gets stronger over time. Adenosine works on certain receptors in your brain that make you sleepy and slow down systems that keep you awake. This is why you get more and more tired as the day goes on, even if you don't do anything physical. Your brain is literally keeping track of how long you've been awake and slowly increasing the pressure to rest and get better. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors, which stops adenosine from making you sleepy. This is why caffeine can make you feel awake even when you haven't had enough sleep. It doesn't give you energy, it just stops your brain from getting the signals that tell it to rest. When the caffeine wears off, all the adenosine that has built up hits your adenosine receptors at once. This is what causes the caffeine crash that many people feel. As your brain gets into this sleep-friendly neurochemical state, high GABA and adenosine, low norepinephrine and serotonin, the real magic of sleep starts to happen. Your neurons, which spent the day making connections and remembering things, are now doing the important work of consolidation and maintenance. It's like the brain's nightly cleaning routine, but instead of cleaning furniture and putting things away in closets, your neurons are strengthening important memories and getting rid of the metabolic waste that built up while you were awake. Scientists poetically call this process synaptic scaling, or synaptic homeostasis. As you learn new things and have new experiences throughout the day, the connections between your neurons, which are called synapses, get stronger. Memories are made, and knowledge grows when synaptic connections get stronger. Every time you practice a skill or remember something, the neural pathway gets stronger and works better. But if this kept going on without stopping, your brain would eventually get full, like a hard drive that has no space left for new files. The synapses would get so strong and so many that they would get in each other's way, making neural noise that would make it hard for you to think clearly and remember new things. Your brain needs a way to keep the signal-to-noise ratio of neural communication stable. Sleep is the answer to this problem because it is both useful and very healing. Your brain weakens the strength of synaptic connections while you sleep, especially during the deep stages we'll talk about in a minute. This might sound counterproductive. Why would your brain weaken the connections that hold your memories and knowledge? But this process is actually very complicated. It doesn't make all connections weaker in the same way. Instead, it acts like a skilled editor, keeping the most important and meaningful connections while letting the weaker, less important ones fade away. This synaptic scaling has two great purposes. First, it clears out the neural equivalent of yesterday's newspaper, which is information that was important for a short time but doesn't need to be kept forever. This makes room for new learning. Second, it makes the signal-to-noise ratio of really important memories stronger, which makes them stand out more clearly from the background of everyday life. Your brain seems to lovingly curate the museum of your mind every night, deciding which exhibits should be on display and which should be put away or let go. Several molecular mechanisms that work during sleep are responsible for synaptic scaling. One of the most important ones is the control of proteins that affect the strength of synaptic connections. When you're awake, these proteins build up at synapses in response to brain activity. But while you sleep, other proteins become active that can change or remove these synaptic proteins. This effectively downscales the strength of connections throughout the brain. This downscaling isn't random, it's based on what happened the day before. Synapses that were used a lot and were part of important memories are more likely to be kept or even made stronger. Synapses that were only weakly or rarely activated are more likely to be reduced in size. In this way, sleep acts like a natural selection process for memories, keeping the ones that matter and getting rid of the ones that don't. But getting ready for sleep goes far beyond your brain. As your peripheral nervous system, the network of nerves that connects your brain and spinal cord to the rest of your body, adjusts to the rhythms of night, a similar change is happening throughout your body. As bedtime approaches, your autonomic nervous system, which controls the involuntary functions that keep you alive, also starts to change. The sympathetic nervous system gets your body ready for action during the day, while the parasympathetic nervous system promotes rest and recovery. These two parts of the system usually work together in a careful way. As sleep nears, your nervous system smoothly transitions from sympathetic to parasympathetic dominance. The sympathetic nervous system, which kept you awake and ready to face challenges all day, starts to lose its power. This system works by releasing neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and epinephrine, adrenaline, which speed up the heart rate, breathing rate, blood pressure, and muscle tension. These changes are great for the busy demands of daytime life, but they don't work with the quiet restoration that sleep needs. You can feel the changes in your body as sympathetic activity goes down. Your heart rate slows down from its daytime speed. When you are awake and active, it might be 70 to 80 beats per minute, but when you are in deep sleep, it is only 60 beats per minute or less. Your breathing becomes deeper and more regular as you go from the erratic patterns of waking breathing to the slow, steady rhythm of sleep breathing. As your blood vessels relax, your blood pressure goes down a little. This drop in blood pressure is good for both the heart and the brain's nightly maintenance activities. Lower blood pressure lets cerebrospinal fluid move more freely through neural tissue, which helps the body get rid of waste while you sleep. Your pupils, which opened up during the day to let in more light and keep you awake, start to close. The parasympathetic nervous system controls this pupillary constriction, which is part of the body's overall shift toward rest and saving energy. Your digestive system even starts to change how it works to get ready for the different metabolic needs of sleep. It's like your body is slowly and gently letting go of the stress it needed to get you through the day's tasks. The muscles that kept you standing up start to relax. The muscles in your face relax, which makes your expression calm and neutral. The small muscles around your eyes start to relax too. Your parasympathetic nervous system, which is also known as the rest and digest system, starts to take over at the same time. This is the part of your nervous system that helps you heal, grow, and get better. The parasympathetic system works with different pathways and neurotransmitters than the sympathetic system. It uses chemicals like acetylcholine to help you relax and recover. When the parasympathetic system is active, your digestive system works harder to break down the nutrients from the day while you sleep. To break down any food that is still in your stomach, it makes more acid. Your intestines contract more to move nutrients through your body. Your liver makes more proteins and other molecules that cells need to heal themselves. This is why eating a big meal right before bed can sometimes make it hard to sleep. Your digestive system is working hard and needs energy and attention. When you sleep, your immune system also becomes more active. You might think of sleep as a time when you don't do much, but your immune system actually works harder while you sleep. During sleep, the number of some types of white blood cells goes up. Cytokines, which are signaling molecules that help the immune system work together, are made in a certain way that peaks at night. This immune system activation while you sleep has a number of important purposes. It helps your body fight off infections that you might have come into contact with during the day. It helps fix tissues that were hurt by normal wear and tear, and it helps to strengthen your immune system's memory, which makes it easier for you to deal with threats in the future. Your parasympathetic nervous system also tells your pituitary gland to release growth hormone. This hormone is very important for repairing tissues, growing muscles, and doing all the other cellular maintenance tasks that keep your body healthy. It reaches its highest level during deep sleep. Growth hormone literally makes kids and teens taller overnight by speeding up the growth of bones and other tissues. In adults, growth hormone is still very important for healing and restoring health. It works all the time, even when people are asleep. During sleep, growth hormone is released in a very specific way. The most sleep occurs in the first few hours, especially during the deep, slow-wave sleep stages. This timing makes sense from a biological point of view, because growth hormone works best when the body is at rest and not busy with other metabolic needs. The hormone helps the body make proteins, break down fats, and fix tissues all over the body. Growth hormone also has big effects on your nervous system. It helps neurons grow and stay healthy, makes new synaptic connections, and helps repair neural tissue that may have been hurt during the day. You wake up every morning with a nervous system that has been refreshed and renewed by the growth hormone that is released while you sleep. Your core body temperature starts to drop as your body gets used to this parasympathetic state. This may seem like a simple physical reaction to not moving, but it's actually a complex biological signal that helps set the time for sleep. Every day, your body temperature rises during the day to help your metabolism work and falls at night to help you sleep. The drop in temperature that happens before sleep is both a cause and an effect of the sleep process. Your brain's master clock tells you it's time to go to bed, which starts processes that help you lose heat. Blood vessels close to your skin widen to let warmth escape into the air. You might naturally want to sleep in a cooler place or change your clothes to help you lose heat. Your hypothalamus, which is a part of your brain that controls your body's temperature, is in charge of this cooling process. There are special neurons in the hypothalamus that can sense changes in body temperature and tell the body how to react. As the sun goes down, these thermosensitive neurons start to cool your body down so that you can sleep. The link between sleep and temperature is very clear. Your core body temperature usually drops by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit while you sleep. The lowest point is usually between 4 and 6 a.m. This is the lowest temperature at which you are most likely to feel sleepy if you are awake, and the hardest time to stay awake. This temperature pattern can help explain a lot of things that happen when you sleep. That's why a lot of people naturally put their feet out from under the covers when they sleep. The hands and feet are important places for heat to escape, and cooling these parts of the body helps lower the overall core temperature. This is why a cool room often feels better for sleeping than a warm one. Your body is naturally cooling down, and this is why a warm bath before bed can actually help you sleep, even though it seems like it would make you sleep less. The warm bath makes your blood vessels open up, and when you get out, the quick cooling helps your body get ready for sleep. One of the many things your nervous system uses to start the complex process of falling asleep is temperature. Your body's temperature receptors send information to your brain about the temperature of the environment. This information is combined with other signals about the time of day, the amount of light, and the pressure to sleep inside your body to figure out the best time to sleep. It's a great example of how your body's different systems talk to each other using the same language of chemistry and physics. Your nervous system doesn't work alone. It gets information from your cardiovascular system, endocrine system, immune system, and even the temperature of your skin all the time. It then uses this information to create a coordinated response that helps you fall asleep faster. Now that your nervous system is getting used to its nighttime routine, you are starting to sleep properly for the first time. There are different stages of sleep, and each one has its own pattern of brain activity and role in restoring your body at night. Electroencephalography, EEG, is a method that uses electrodes placed on your scalp to measure the electrical activity of your brain. This is how these stages were found. The first stage is called N1 sleep, which stands for non-REM, or non-rapid eye movement sleep. This name sets it apart from REM sleep, which we'll talk about later on our journey. N1 sleep is the gentle shift from being awake to being asleep. It is a liminal state that usually lasts only a few minutes, but is a very important link between the conscious and unconscious worlds. During N1 sleep, your brain waves slow down even more into the theta range we talked about before. This makes long rolling waves of electrical activity that move across your cortex like gentle swells across a calm ocean. These theta waves, which go around 4 to 8 times per second, show a big change in how your neurons talk to each other. When you're awake and paying attention, your brain waves are usually in the beta range, 13 to 30 hertz. When you're relaxed, they're usually in the alpha range, 8 to 13 hertz. These higher frequencies help with the quick processing of information and making decisions that conscious awareness needs. But when you go into N1 sleep, the slower theta rhythms take over. This shows that your brain is no longer trying to stay active in the world around you. You go from being awake to being asleep when your brain waves change from alpha to theta. People often say that they lose awareness of their surroundings at this point, even though they may still be somewhat responsive to things happening around them. During N1 sleep, you are still somewhat aware of your surroundings, but your awareness has become dreamy and detached. This is because your brain is going through different neural rhythms as it transitions. You might have hypnagogic hallucinations at this point. These are short, vivid images or feelings that seem to come out of nowhere. These aren't real dreams yet. They're just the first signs that the unconscious mind is starting to speak. You might see flashes of colour, hear bits of conversation, or feel like you're falling. This is the classic hypnic jerk that wakes people up during this time. Hypnagogic hallucinations happen when your brain is learning how to work in a new way. Your sensory systems work together to make sense of the world around you when you are awake. Your visual system takes in real images from your surroundings. Your auditory system takes in real sounds, and your brain combines all of this information into your conscious mind. But this sensory integration isn't as reliable during the N1 transition. The thalamus is starting to block sensory information, which slows down the flow of signals from outside to your cortex. Your brain is also starting to make its own patterns of activity that will eventually turn into dreams. The hypnagogic phenomena of N1 sleep show how these two processes are similar. Bits of brain activity mix with less sensory information that is still there. These things happen because your thalamus is still partly open to the outside world. This lets bits of sensory information mix with the first stages of brain activity that are like dreams. Your mind is learning to speak a new language, the language of dreams, and these hypnagogic experiences are its first tentative words. The hypnic jerk, which is the sudden feeling of falling that can wake you up just as you're about to fall asleep, is your brain's way of protecting you during this risky time. When your muscles start to relax in preparation for sleep, your brain sometimes misreads this as a sign of danger and causes a reflexive muscle contraction that briefly wakes you up. It's an evolutionary remnant, a way to protect ourselves that may have helped our ancestors avoid falling out of trees or other high places where they slept. Your muscle tone starts to drop during N1 sleep, but you're not completely paralyzed yet. That will happen later. Your breathing gets more regular, but it's not yet as slow and deep as it will be. Your heart rate is still slowing down, but it hasn't reached the lowest point it can go while you sleep. N1 is a real transition state, a soft bridge between being awake and being deeply asleep. In healthy adults, this first stage of sleep usually lasts only 5 to 10 minutes, but don't let its shortness fool you into thinking it's not important. N1 sleep is an important neurological milestone because it's when your brain stops being awake and starts the sleep process. People who have trouble making this change may have trouble sleeping and lie awake for hours, unable to cross this line. When you go from N1 sleep to N2 sleep, your nervous system crosses a clearer line into unconsciousness. N2 sleep is the most important part of your sleep. In healthy adults, it usually makes up about 45 to 55% of the total time spent sleeping. This is when your brain really starts to show the unique electrical patterns of sleep, which are different from anything else that happens when you're awake. During N2 sleep, your EEG starts to show two things that sleep researchers call sleep spindles and K complexes. These unique wave patterns are so reliable that they are used to define this stage of sleep. Researchers who study sleep know that the brain has definitely gone to sleep when they see it on an EEG recording. Sleep spindles are short bursts of rhythmic brainwave activity that happen every few seconds during N2 sleep and last for about 0.5 to 1 second. Their name comes from how they look on an EEG readout, where they look like the spindle shape of a football spinning through the air, an amplitude that rises quickly and then falls slowly. These spindles usually happen 12 to 14 times per second, which is in the lower part of the beta range. However, their burst-like pattern sets them apart from waking beta activity. Your thalamus, which has been slowly closing the gates to outside awareness, makes sleep spindles. But instead of just blocking information, your thalamus starts to make these rhythmic bursts of activity during N2 sleep that serve many purposes. The spindles help you stay asleep by stopping sensory information from getting to the cortex, but they do this in a way that lets important signals through. Sleep spindles are like a high-tech alarm system for your brain while you sleep. They make it so that people don't respond as much to things outside of themselves for a while, but they also make it so that important information can still get to the brain if it needs to. Even though both sounds are at about the same volume, a parent who is sleeping through normal household noises might wake up right away when they hear their baby crying. The brain's sleep spindle system helps us tell the difference between these important things. Studies have demonstrated that individuals who produce a greater quantity of sleep spindles generally experience more restorative sleep and report enhanced sleep quality. The spindles seem to show that the brain can keep you asleep even when things around you are hard. People who have trouble sleeping often have less sleep spindle activity, which suggests that their brains may have trouble keeping the protective barriers that let them sleep without interruptions. The thalamus has a complicated circuit that makes sleep spindles. Reticular thalamic neurons, which are a type of neuron, act as pacemakers by sending out rhythmic bursts of inhibitory activity that make the spindle pattern. These neurons get information from both the cortex and other thalamic areas. This lets them change the frequency and intensity of the spindle based on how the brain is doing overall. It's interesting that the frequency of sleep spindles differs from person to person. This could be because of genetic differences in how the brain is built and works. Some people naturally make spindles at the lower end of the frequency range, about 11 to 12 Hertz, while others make spindles that are faster, 13 to 15 Hertz. These individual differences seem to stay the same over time, almost like a neural fingerprint that shows how each person sleeps differently. K-complexes are even more interesting than sleep spindles. These are big, slow waves that show up on the EEG all of a sudden, like gentle giants walking across the landscape of your sleeping mind. A K-complex is a pattern that lasts for several seconds and looks like a sharp negative wave followed by a slower positive wave. They happen on their own during N2 sleep, but they can also be caused by sounds or other things from the outside world. It's amazing that K-complexes can be triggered by things outside of the body. Your nervous system keeps an eye on things even when you're asleep, and mostly cut off from the outside world. It can spot and assess possible threats or important information. When your brain is asleep and hears a sound that might need your attention, it makes a K-complex to quickly check if the sound is important enough to wake you up. You don't even know that this process is happening because it happens so quickly. Your brain hears the sound, decides it's not important enough to wake you up, and lets you keep sleeping peacefully. Your brain only starts to wake you up when it hears something that is really important, like a baby's cry, a smoke alarm, or someone calling your name. Internal events in the brain itself can also cause K-complexes. They can happen when someone wakes up briefly or is aroused but doesn't reach the level of consciousness. The K-complex seems to be a way to actively keep the arousal down and keep the sleep going in these situations. Your brain seems to be saying, "No, we're sleeping now," and is working hard to keep you from waking up. Several parts of the brain need to work together to make K-complexes. The first sharp wave seems to come from the frontal cortex, while the slower wave seems to come from deeper brain areas like the thalamus. This distributed generation implies that K-complexes signify a comprehensive cerebral response to potential sleep disturbances, reflecting a synchronized endeavor by the nervous system to preserve a tranquil state of rest. Sleep spindles and K-complexes both help keep your sleep from being disturbed, while still letting your brain respond to things that are really important. They are elegant answers to one of the most important problems with sleep: how to be unconscious and restorative while still being safe and able to respond to real emergencies. Your brain does this while you sleep by using these complex patterns of neural activity that can tell the difference between what's important and what's not. Your body keeps relaxing slowly during N2 sleep. Your heart rate and breathing slow down and become more regular than they were in N1. Your core body temperature keeps going down until it reaches its lowest point at night. Most importantly, your muscle tone drops a lot compared to when you wake up, but not as much as it will during the REM sleep we'll talk about later. Your brainstem controls this drop in muscle tone during N2 sleep through a complicated network of inhibitory signals. Neurons in the pons and medulla send signals down your spinal cord that make the motor neurons that control your voluntary muscles less excitable. This makes your muscles relax more deeply than you can do on your own while you're awake. N2 sleep relaxes your muscles, which is important for a number of reasons. It lowers the amount of energy your body uses, which lets it focus its resources on repairing and restoring itself. It stops you from doing any movements that might happen in your dreams. or when you're mentally active while you sleep. And it might help improve the way blood flows through your body, which helps your heart rest while you sleep. Scientists call this muscle atonia, and it is controlled by your brainstem through the release of certain neurotransmitters. Glycine and GABA are both inhibitory neurotransmitters that are released at synapses in your spinal cord. This disconnects your motor cortex from your muscles. It's a short-term paralysis that can be fully reversed. It keeps your body still and safe while your brain does its nightly repair work. One of the biggest changes in the brain during the whole sleep cycle happens when you go from N2 to N3 sleep, which is also called slow wave sleep or deep sleep. The brain waves during N3 sleep are the slowest of the whole sleep cycle. They are big rolling delta waves that move across your cortex at a slow pace of less than 4 cycles per second. These are the most in-sync brain waves your nervous system can make. This level of neural coordination is impossible when you're awake. When you think about what they mean, the delta waves of deep sleep are really amazing. Your billions of neurons tend to fire independently when you're awake, which creates the complex, chaotic patterns of electrical activity that support the wide range of conscious thought. You can pay attention to one thing while other things happen in the background, switch quickly between different types of thinking, and keep track of more than one stream of information at the same time. But during N3 sleep, something amazing happens. Millions and millions of neurons start to fire together in slow, coordinated bursts. It's like a huge, disorganized crowd suddenly starts marching in perfect time. This firing in sync makes the delta waves that are big and slow, which are what deep sleep is all about. EEG electrodes can even pick up these waves through the skull and scalp. Your brain can do things that would be impossible when you are awake, and your neurons are firing randomly. The slow, coordinated waves of N3 sleep seem to work like a gentle tide, moving through your brain and taking away the metabolic waste that built up during the day. Recent studies have shown that during deep sleep, the gaps between your brain cells can grow by as much as 60%. This lets cerebrospinal fluid move more freely through neural tissue and get rid of toxins. This discovery has changed everything we thought we knew about why we sleep. Your brain doesn't have a regular lymphatic system like other organs in your body do to get rid of waste. Instead, it uses this glymphatic system, which is a network of fluid-filled channels that work hard while you sleep. The synchronized neural activity during deep sleep seems to cause the pulsating flow of cerebrospinal fluid that powers this cleaning system. The waste products removed during this nightly cleansing include some that are directly related to neurodegenerative diseases. People with Alzheimer's disease have a lot of amyloid beta, a protein that builds up in their brains. Deep sleep helps get rid of this protein more quickly. During these times of increased waste clearance, the tau protein, which is linked to different types of dementia, is also processed. Some scientists now think that this nightly cleansing process is one of the main reasons we sleep. Your brain makes metabolic waste products as a normal part of neural activity, just like your muscles make lactic acid when you work out. But your brain needs this special state of synchronized slow wave activity to open the pathways for effective waste removal. Muscles can be rested and cleaned separately, so the amount of deep sleep you get may have a big effect on the health of your brain in the long run. People who don't get enough deep sleep on a regular basis may not be getting rid of these waste products from their brains well enough, which could make them more likely to get neurodegenerative diseases later in life. It reminds us how important it is to get good sleep as we get older to keep our brains healthy. Your brain also works on memory consolidation while you are in deep sleep, as we talked about before. The slow waves of N3 sleep seem to help move information from temporary storage areas in your hippocampus to more permanent storage areas in your cortex. This process involves the synchronized replay of patterns of neural activity that were formed during learning. When you learn something new during the day, groups of neurons in your hippocampus fire together in certain ways to store the new information. During deep sleep, these same groups of neurons spontaneously reactivate, firing in the same patterns but much faster than when the person first learned the information. This faster replay seems to help move memory traces from the hippocampus to the cortex, where they can be combined with what you already know and stored for longer. The process works very well. During sleep, a pattern of neural activity that might have taken several seconds to form while learning can be played back in just a few milliseconds. This time compression lets your brain go over and solidify a lot of information during the short hours of deep sleep. It's like watching a fast-paced movie of your day's events, with your brain picking and choosing which scenes should be kept in your permanent memory. This process of consolidating memories is why getting a good night's sleep after learning something new can make it much easier to remember and understand the next day. Students who stay up all night studying for tests are actually stopping their brains from doing the work that would help them do better. The information might be in their hippocampus for a short time, but without the consolidation that happens during deep sleep, a lot of it will be lost or not fit in well with what they already know. It looks like the slow waves of deep sleep also help with synaptic homeostasis, which is the process of keeping the connections between neurons strong. When you're awake, synapses all over your brain get stronger as you learn and have new experiences. But you need to find a balance in this process so that your neural networks don't get too much information. When you're in deep sleep, the synchronized slow waves seem to send a global reset signal that lowers the strength of synapses all over the cortex. This downscaling doesn't get rid of memories. Instead, it makes the overall strength of synaptic connections normal, while keeping the relative differences that encode specific memories. It's like turning down the volume on an entire sound system to keep the instruments at the same level of loudness without making them sound bad. The release of growth hormone that happens most during deep sleep also helps your nervous system heal physically. Even though neurons are very advanced, they are still living cells that need to be cared for and fixed. As they break down over time, the proteins that make up their structure need to be replaced. It is important to keep the membranes that control the flow of electrical signals in good shape. Based on what happens during the day, the synapses that connect one neuron to another need to be made stronger, weaker, or replaced. Growth hormone helps all of these things happen by making proteins in the nervous system. When you sleep deeply, your neurons make more of the proteins they need to keep their structure, fix cells, and keep synapses working. This is why deep sleep is so important for healing brain injuries or when you're learning a lot. Your nervous system literally rebuilds itself while you sleep. The amount of deep sleep you get follows patterns that are easy to predict over your lifetime. Kids and teens spend a lot more time in deep sleep than adults do. This is because their brains are still growing and they are learning and growing a lot during these times. Young children may spend 20 to 25% of their total sleep time in deep sleep, while healthy adults usually spend 15 to 20%. As we get older, we gradually get less deep sleep. Older adults might only spend 5 to 10% of their sleep time in the deepest stages, and some might not even get any deep sleep at all. This decrease in deep sleep that comes with age may be linked to some of the cognitive changes that come with aging, such as less memory consolidation and a higher risk of neurodegenerative diseases. As we get older, our brains change in ways that make it harder for us to get deep sleep. The brain areas that make slow waves, especially the frontal cortex, change with age in ways that can make it harder for them to make the synchronized activity that is needed for deep sleep. Researchers are looking into ways to help people keep their deep sleep as they get older, because they understand these changes. As N3 sleep gets deeper, usually in the first third of the night, your nervous system gets very close to perfect rest. Your brain waves are moving the slowest and most in sync. Your body temperature has dropped to its lowest point for the night. Your heart rate and breathing are at their most relaxed right now. The protective mechanisms in your brainstem keep your muscles in a gentle suspension, making you feel more relaxed than ever. Deep sleep is when your blood pressure drops to its lowest point of the day. This gives your heart and blood vessels a much-needed break and time to heal. The lower pressure lets your heart work less hard while still making sure that all your organs get enough blood flow. People who don't get enough deep sleep are more likely to have high blood pressure and other heart problems because this cardiovascular rest is so important. During deep sleep, your immune system is at its most active, and different types of immune cells move around your body more quickly. During sleep, your body makes more antibodies that fight infections, and your immune system's memory its ability to remember and respond to future threats gets stronger. This is why you often feel better after sleeping when you're sick, and why not getting enough sleep makes you more likely to get sick. Your endocrine system also goes through big changes while you sleep deeply. Your body releases other hormones besides growth hormone that help with repair and restoration. During sleep, prolactin, a hormone that helps the immune system and tissue repair, reaches its highest level. Melatonin keeps moving around your body, helping cells fight off free radicals. Your body's ability to process glucose and keep blood sugar levels stable changes while you sleep. An outside observer might think that this is a state of complete inactivity, but that couldn't be more wrong. When you sleep deeply, your nervous system is like a master craftsman working in a well-organized workshop. Every tool is in its place, every process is optimized, and every action is planned and effective. The calmness on the outside hides an amazing symphony of cellular activity, all aimed at healing, strengthening, and getting ready for the next day's events. The neurons in your cortex fire in slow, coordinated patterns. This makes the cerebrospinal fluid flow, which cleans up waste from your brain. Your hippocampus is playing back memories from the day and moving them to places where they will stay forever. Growth hormone is making new proteins in your nervous system that are needed for cell maintenance and repair. Your autonomic nervous system still carefully controls your heart rate, breathing, and other vital functions, but at a lower level that is right for deep sleep. Your temperature control system keeps your core temperature low while making sure that your vital organs stay warm enough. While you sleep, your immune system is on high alert, looking for and destroying any possible threats. Your nervous system starts to wake you up slowly from a deep sleep, but not in a straight line. Instead, it goes in a circle that repeats all night, going from N3 to N2, and then to N1 for a short time before going into the most interesting and mysterious stage of sleep, REM, or rapid eye movement sleep. One of the most dramatic changes in all of neuroscience is the change from deep sleep to REM sleep. Deep sleep is like a quiet, organized workshop where things get done in perfect harmony. REM sleep is like a lively theater where your mind's most complex plays happen in vivid, impossible detail. Your brain is almost as active metabolically during REM sleep as it is when you're awake. But this activity is turned inward, which is what makes dreams so rich and complex. When you go into REM sleep, your brain's neurotransmitter systems completely change. The chemicals that were most active during the first stages of sleep, like GABA, adenosine, and the slow wave generating mechanisms, start to fade into the background. Your brain starts to release acetylcholine instead. This is the same neurotransmitter that keeps you awake and focused during the day. Acetylcholine, on the other hand, during REM sleep makes you focus on the theatre of your own mind instead of the outside world. The brainstem areas that make REM sleep happen, especially the pons, start sending signals to your nervous system that make this stage different. These neurons in the brainstem fire in strong bursts that travel up to your thalamus and cortex, making the high-frequency brain waves that are common during REM sleep. At the same time, they send signals down to your spinal cord that cause the most severe muscle paralysis of the entire sleep cycle. Your eyes start to move quickly from side to side under your eyelids, following the pictures in your dreams. This stage of sleep is called REM sleep because of the rapid eye movements that happen during it. The eye movements are not random. They seem to match the visual content of dreams, as if you are actually watching the scenes play out in your sleep. During REM sleep, your breathing changes a lot. Sometimes it's fast and shallow, and other times it's deep and slow. This depends on what you're dreaming about. When you dream about running, your breathing might speed up as if you were really doing it. If you dream about having a calm conversation, your breathing might be slower and more regular. Your heart rate also changes more, depending on how you feel about the things in your dreams. During REM sleep, your brain waves change from the slow, synchronized patterns of deep sleep to faster, more chaotic rhythms that are very similar to those of waking consciousness. Gamma waves and beta waves come back. Gamma waves are some of the fastest brain waves your nervous system makes. This high-frequency activity shows how much work your brain does while you sleep, creating complex sensory experiences, emotions, and stories all on its own. But the most interesting thing is that your muscles relax even more during REM sleep. During the early stages of sleep, you are gently paralyzed, but during REM sleep, you become almost completely still. The only parts of your body that are still moving are your diaphragm, which keeps you breathing, and the tiny muscles that move your eyes. This full relaxation of the muscles is very important for REM sleep because dreams can be very real and active. Neurons in your brainstem release glycine and GABA at synapses all over your spinal cord, which causes the muscle paralysis of REM sleep. These neurotransmitters stop your motor cortex from connecting to your voluntary muscles, which keeps the things you might do in your dreams, running, fighting, dancing, flying, safely in your sleeping mind. This protective paralysis is so strong that if you could somehow wake up from REM sleep right away, you wouldn't be able to move for a few seconds while your brainstem systems got back to normal motor control. People sometimes experience this condition called sleep paralysis, which makes them aware before the REM atonia is fully worn off. This makes them feel awake but unable to move, which is scary but not dangerous. The dreams that happen during REM sleep are very different from anything else your nervous system makes. They mix memories, feelings, sensations, and imaginary things in ways that would be impossible when you are awake. You might fly through childhood scenes that turn into your current workplace, talk to people who died years ago, or solve hard problems with solutions that make perfect sense in the dream but seem strange when you wake up. These dreams are a result of the unique neural activity that happens during REM sleep. Thalamic gating cuts off most of your sensory systems from the outside world. This makes your brain start to make its own reality using the same neural networks that process real perceptions when you are awake. The visual cortex, which usually processes signals from your eyes, instead responds to signals from your brainstem, which makes dreams so vivid. During REM sleep, your auditory cortex, which usually processes sounds from your ears, reacts to activity in your brain, creating the conversations, music, and sound effects you hear in dreams. The somatosensory cortex makes you feel things in your dreams, like the wind when you're flying, the water when you're swimming, and the touch of things and people in your dream world. During REM sleep, your brain's emotional centers, especially the amygdala and other limbic structures, become very active. This is why dreams can be so emotional, from the joy of dreams that come true to the fear of nightmares. Dreams can make you feel stronger than you do when you're awake, because they don't have the prefrontal cortex to help control your emotional responses. This making of an internal world is good for your nervous system in many ways. Dreams seem to be very important for processing emotions because they let you deal with feelings and events in a safe, simulated setting. REM sleep's strong emotional activation may help you deal with traumatic or stressful events by adding them to your existing emotional framework in a way that makes them less disruptive when you're awake. It also seems that dreams help people come up with new ideas and solve problems. During REM sleep, your brain can connect different pieces of information in ways that might not happen when you're awake and thinking in a more logical, linear way. A lot of artists, scientists, and inventors have said that they have had big ideas in their dreams. This suggests that REM sleep is very important for creative thinking. The strange and impossible things that happen in dreams may be a normal part of this neural process. REM sleep lets your brain explore new combinations of ideas and experiences by temporarily putting aside the rules that govern waking thought. Dreams can help your brain test out new neural connections and pathways that might be useful in real life. For example, you might dream about flying, talking to dead relatives, or moving between places without any trouble. It seems that REM sleep also helps with procedural memory consolidation, which is the process of making skills and habits stronger instead of specific factual memories. Research indicates that individuals acquiring a new motor skill experience heightened REM sleep the subsequent night, with the quantity of REM sleep correlating to skill enhancement. This indicates that REM sleep aids, in the consolidation of both the movements and the neural programs governing skilled behavior. Changes in neurotransmitters that happen during REM sleep have big effects on your whole nervous system. REM sleep lowers levels of norepinephrine and serotonin, which doesn't just affect your brain. These chemicals also control many functions of the peripheral nervous system. During REM sleep, norepinephrine levels drop, which may make it harder for the body to control its temperature. This is because norepinephrine usually helps control blood vessel constriction and heat retention. During REM sleep, your body has a harder time keeping your temperature stable, which makes you more sensitive to the temperature around you. You might wake up more often from REM sleep if your sleeping area is too hot or too cold. People may have more vivid dreams in the early morning hours, when REM sleep is most common and room temperatures are usually at their coolest. This could be because they are sensitive to temperature. REM sleep's high levels of acetylcholine also have special effects on your autonomic nervous system. During REM sleep, your heart rate changes more than it does during other stages of sleep. This is called heart rate variability. It seems that the emotional content of dreams is linked to this increased variability. For example, your heart rate may speed up during exciting or scary dream sequences and slow down during calm dream periods. Your breathing patterns during REM sleep also change more often, and they can even stop for a short time or become irregular. These changes in breathing are usually not harmful for healthy people, but they can be more of a problem for people who have sleep apnea or other sleep-disordered breathing conditions. People with breathing-related sleep disorders may find it especially hard to get through REM sleep because the muscle relaxation can make airway obstruction worse. The cycle between REM and non-REM sleep goes on all night, usually in a set pattern called sleep architecture. You spend more time in the deeper stages of non-REM sleep early in the night, when your sleep pressure is highest and your circadian drive to wake up is lowest. You get most of your physical restoration and memory consolidation during these early deep sleep periods, which are very important after a busy day. As the night goes on and you get some of your sleep debt paid off, the REM periods get longer and happen more often. The longest and most vivid REM periods usually happen in the hours just before you naturally wake up, when your body's circadian system is getting ready for the day ahead. This is why you probably remember dreams from the early morning hours. You spend more time in REM sleep, and you are more likely to wake up right after a REM period. The fact that the balance between non-REM and REM sleep changes shows that these stages have different jobs. Deep sleep takes over early in the night, when your body needs to heal the most. As your body gets closer to being fully restored later in the night, REM sleep takes over. This is when your brain processes emotions and integrates memories to get you ready for the mental challenges of a new day. Your circadian clock and your homeostatic sleep drive work together in a complicated way to create the whole pattern. Your circadian system sets the basic times for when you should sleep and wake up, and your homeostatic system keeps track of how long you've been awake and changes the intensity and makeup of your sleep as needed. This two-step process helps make sure you get the right amount of sleep at the right times. Your homeostatic drive will be higher if you go to bed later than usual, which will help you get more deep sleep early in the night. When you're under emotional stress, your brain may need more time or more REM periods to process what you're going through. As dawn approaches and your sleep cycles come to an end, your nervous system starts to slowly bring you back to waking consciousness. This process of waking up is just as carefully planned as the process of going to sleep. It involves the coordinated activation of many brain systems that bring waking function back to normal. Your circadian clock, which has been keeping track of time all night, starts to let you know that it's time to wake up. Even when there are no outside light cues, your suprachiasmatic nucleus can keep track of time pretty well, getting your body ready to wake up at about the right time every day. As morning approaches, your core body temperature, which dropped to its lowest point during deep sleep, begins to rise a little. One of the first signs that your body is getting ready for the metabolic demands of waking up is that your temperature goes up. The warming trend starts even before you wake up, getting your heart and blood vessels ready for the extra activity that will come with being awake. As your pineal gland gets signals from inside your body about the coming dawn, your brain makes less melatonin. Even without light from outside, your circadian system can tell when the next day is coming and start to make less melatonin. When you wake up and see light from outside, it confirms and strengthens this internal timing signal. The cortisol awakening response is when cortisol levels start to rise. This increase in cortisol helps your body use its energy stores and get back to the alert, focused state of waking consciousness. The release of this cortisol is perfectly timed with your body's circadian rhythms. It usually starts 2 to 3 hours before you wake up and reaches its peak shortly after you wake up. But this process of waking up is slow and careful so that your different neural systems can work together to get going. Your thalamus starts to let sensory information back in, slowly making it more responsive to sights, sounds, and other things in the environment. The process slowly turns off the sensory gating that kept you from waking up, so you don't have to deal with the sudden change that would happen if all sensory input came back at once. As your brainstem sends fewer signals that keep your voluntary muscles relaxed while you sleep, your muscle atonia starts to go away. Your protective paralysis is slowly going away as the glycine and GABA that caused it are cleared from spinal synapses. This lets normal motor control come back. It usually takes a few minutes for this to happen, which is why you might feel a little groggy or unsteady when you first wake up. Your brain waves change from the patterns of sleep to the rhythms of waking up. Alpha waves may take over for a short time as you wake up and become fully alert. This is what many people feel when they wake up. As your brain deals with the demands of being aware of your surroundings and thinking about things, beta waves slowly take over. As your waking systems turn back on, the balance of neurotransmitters in your brain changes a lot. As neurons in your brainstem start to work normally again, norepinephrine and serotonin levels, which were low during REM sleep, start to rise. Dopamine systems that help with motivation and processing rewards start working again. Acetylcholine is still important, but now it helps with learning and attention while you're awake instead of making dreams. Your autonomic nervous system switches from being parasympathetic to sympathetic, getting your body ready for the day's activities. Your heart rate goes up from the lowest level it can be while you sleep to the normal level when you wake up. As your body gets used to supporting an active metabolism, your breathing gets deeper and more variable. Your blood pressure goes up as your heart and blood vessels get ready to support standing up and moving around. One of the most amazing things that the brain can do is switch from sleep to wakefulness. Your nervous system goes from being focused on the inside, which is best for healing and processing, to being focused on the outside, which is ready to deal with the complexities of the conscious world. It's like seeing a theatre empty after a show and then turning back into a busy city street. The same neural architecture is there, but it serves a different purpose. Your prefrontal cortex, which was mostly off while you were sleeping, turns back on and starts to give you the executive control that is a sign of mature human consciousness. Working memory comes back online, which lets you keep and work with information in your conscious mind. Attention systems turn back on, letting you focus on important information while ignoring other things that might get in the way. As you wake up, you start to feel the effects of the memory consolidation and synaptic scaling that happened while you were sleeping. Information that was only weakly encoded the day before may now be more firmly stored in memory. Yesterday's problems that seemed impossible to solve might have answers that are clear now. The skills you practiced might come to you more easily and naturally. Your nervous system has been working hard all night to keep you healthy, process what you've been through, and get you ready for the new day's challenges and opportunities. Deep sleep has improved glymphatic flow, which has helped clear metabolic waste from your brain. It has made important memories stronger while letting less important ones fade away, which is the best way to store information for a long time. Your nervous system has processed the emotional events of the day before through the intense limbic activation of REM sleep. This has added them to your ongoing psychological story in ways that help you stay emotionally strong and healthy. The deep sleep hormone release and protein synthesis have kept and repaired the cellular infrastructure of your brain and body. Your immune system has done its nightly patrol, finding and getting rid of possible threats while also strengthening its memory of past encounters. Your endocrine system has set hormone levels back to normal and gotten your body's chemical messengers ready for another day of working together. Your heart and blood vessels have had important hours of less work while still keeping the blood flowing that is needed for healing and repair. This is the gentle miracle of sleep, which your nervous system controls with more accuracy and care than any human-made technology. Every neuron, synapse, and chemical messenger works together perfectly to give you the gift of rest and renewal. The process is so complicated that millions of individual cells work together over many timescales to give you the smooth experience of sleep and waking up that you have every night. And what makes this even more amazing is that you don't have to do anything to make it happen. It happens all on its own. You don't have to remember to slow your heart rate while you sleep, let go of growth hormone while you sleep, or make REM dreams. You don't have to think about when to go to sleep, or remember to wake up your motor systems when you wake up. Your nervous system takes care of all of these complicated details just as well as it takes care of your breathing or your heart beating. All you have to do is make the right conditions for sleep. A comfortable place to sleep, a calm mind, and a body that is ready to sleep. Your nervous system will take care of the rest, with an efficiency and sophistication that will amaze you the more you learn about it. The fact that sleep happens on its own is one of the best things your nervous system does for you. In a world that often requires constant attention and conscious control, sleep provides a refuge where one can relinquish control and have faith in the innate wisdom of one's biology. You don't need to manage, optimize, or control the process of sleep. You just need to let it happen and give in to the gentle guidance of systems that have been getting better and better over millions of years of evolution. Getting ready for bed every night is one of the oldest and most important things people do on Earth. Almost every animal with a nervous system shows some kind of sleep-like behavior. So sleep isn't just for people. The preservation of sleep throughout evolution, despite its apparent susceptibility, underscores its essential role in nervous system functionality. Your sleep is linked to the sleep of many other living things. They all follow the same patterns of rest and activity that have been shaped by the same planetary rhythms of light and darkness that have ruled life for billions of years. Melatonin from your pineal gland is the same chemical as melatonin from other mammals, birds, and even plants. The slow waves that happen when you are in deep sleep are similar to those that happen in other mammals. This evolutionary view adds to the amazement of the nightly journey your nervous system takes you on. You're not just healing and renewing yourself, you're also taking part in a biological process that links you to all life on Earth and follows rhythms that are as basic as the rotation of the planet. Before you go to sleep tonight, take a moment to think about how amazing your body is at keeping you safe while you sleep. Be thankful for the neurons that will slow down their firing to give you peace, the chemicals that will wash through your brain to help you heal, the protective paralysis that will keep you safe while you dream, and the biological clocks that will make sure you wake up at the right time, feeling refreshed and renewed. Think about how the growth hormone will flow through your blood and help your body repair itself and keep cells healthy. While you sleep, your immune cells will be on high alert and will patrol your tissues. Be thankful for the systems that control your temperature, your breathing, and your heart. They will all keep you comfortable and your blood flowing smoothly. Be amazed by the memory consolidation processes that will organize and combine your experiences, making important memories stronger and letting less important ones fade away. Be amazed by the emotional processing systems that will help you stay mentally stable and strong by working through the things that happen during the day. Recognize that REM sleep can help you think outside the box and come up with new ideas and solutions to problems you're having. Your nervous system doesn't ask you for anything in return except the chance to do what it does best. Take care of you with a level of care and accuracy that knows no bounds. It doesn't need to be managed or controlled on purpose. You don't have to understand or appreciate it, but doing so can help you get to know this amazing system better. It just wants to serve you and give you the rest and restoration you need to thrive. When you start to fall asleep and your mind starts to fade, billions of cells hold you in their gentle embrace. Their only goal is to give you the rest you need to thrive. Have faith in that hug. Let your own beautiful, complicated, and caring nervous system take you to sleep. Think about how amazing what is about to happen is. When you lie still in bed, your brain will start to make slow waves that will wash away the metabolic waste from the day. Your hippocampus will quickly replay the events of the day, moving important memories to long-term storage and letting unimportant ones fade away. While you sleep, your immune system will work harder, sending out cellular guards to protect and fix your body. Your levels of growth hormone will rise, which will help your body's tissues repair and maintain themselves. Your brain will get rid of harmful proteins that could build up and cause problems over time. Your heart will get a break during this time of lower demand, but it will still need to circulate blood to help it heal. In a few hours, you'll be in REM sleep, which is like a theatre where your brain makes up amazing, impossible worlds using memories, feelings, and imagination. You'll fly through places that only exist in your dreams. You'll use the free imaginative logic of dreams to figure things out. While you sleep, you'll work through your feelings in a safe place, adding what happened during the day to your ongoing psychological story. You won't have to do anything to make any of this happen. You don't have to worry about directing the process or whether it's working right. Your nervous system has been perfecting these procedures for your entire lifetime and for countless generations before you. It knows exactly what to do and when to do it. You just have to let it happen. Imagine that your nervous system is the most caring caregiver you can think of. It never sleeps, takes breaks, or stops working for your health. It doesn't ask for thanks or recognition, but both are fine. It just keeps serving you faithfully, day and night, making sure you have everything you need to live, learn, love, and grow. This caregiver knows you better than you do. It keeps track of every breath you've taken, every heartbeat, and every time you've slept or woken up in your life. It has learned to give you the best rest and recovery based on your own patterns and preferences. It can tell when you need more REM sleep and when you need more deep sleep. It knows how to change your sleep schedule based on what you've been through recently and what you need right now. Your nervous system also links you to something bigger than yourself, the rhythms of nature and the cycles of light and dark that have been in charge of life on Earth for billions of years. As you sleep tonight, you're taking part in a process that connects you to every other sleeping animal on Earth, from the tiniest mammals to the biggest whales. They all follow the same patterns of rest and recovery. The melatonin in your blood right now is chemically the same as the melatonin in a sleeping mouse, a resting bird, or even some plants that have daily cycles of activity and rest. The slow waves that are building up in your cortex follow the same basic patterns that other mammals' brains do when they sleep. Right now, billions of nervous systems around the world are settling down to sleep. You're part of a huge biological symphony. It can be very comforting to feel connected to the bigger patterns of life. Sleep is not an isolated occurrence. It is an integral component of the fundamental rhythm of existence. The same forces that change the seasons and pull the tides are gently pushing you to rest. The earth is spinning under you, which helps you sleep at the right times. Not only does your bed hold you up, but the whole planet does too. As you start to fall asleep, pay attention to the small changes that are happening in your body and mind. Your breathing is getting slower and more regular. Your heart rate is starting to slow down for the night. Your muscles are starting to let go of the stress they held on to all day. Your thoughts are getting less clear and more like dreams. These changes aren't happening by chance. They're the result of very complex biological processes that your nervous system is controlling with perfect timing. Your brainstem's neurons are making fewer neurotransmitters that help you wake up. Your thalamus is starting to block out sensory information, which keeps your sleep from being disturbed by things that don't need to be. Your pineal gland is sending melatonin into your blood like a soft chemical lullaby. You can fully trust these steps. They have been tested and improved over millions of years of evolution. They've safely carried your ancestors through the night for many generations. They've been working hard for you since before you were born, and they'll keep doing so until you die. You are in the care of the most advanced, dependable, and caring system possible. Feel thankful for the hard work they do for you. Your nervous system never complains, asks for time off, or threatens to quit if things aren't perfect at work. It changes to fit whatever situation you put it in. Stress, irregular schedules, or tough environments. and does its best to give you the rest and recovery you need. You should appreciate it and trust it. As you fall asleep, remember that you're not losing consciousness. You're just entering a different state of consciousness. Your brain will still be busy all night, but it will be busy with things that are going on inside of you instead of outside of you. It won't take in information from the outside world. Instead, it will take in information from your own world, like your memories, feelings, experiences, and dreams. This inward focus doesn't mean turning away from life. It means getting more involved with it. Your brain will try to make sense of and connect your experiences while you sleep, which it can't do when you're awake. It will find links between things that don't seem to be related. It will deal with problems and feelings that come up. It will help you remember the most important things and let less important things fade away. Your nervous system will also use this time to do important maintenance that keeps you healthy and working at your best. It will get rid of the waste products that cells built up during the day. It will fix damage to neurons and other tissues. It will make your immune system stronger and get it ready for the challenges of tomorrow. It will help your physical and mental health by balancing the levels of neurotransmitters and hormones in your body. When you're completely at rest, your nervous system doesn't have to split its attention between maintenance tasks and the demands of conscious awareness. This is when all of this restorative work happens most efficiently. This is why sleep is so important. It's not just a break from activity, it's also a time when your body's most important biological processes can work at their best. You might notice that your thoughts become more fluid and connected as you fall asleep. Memories from different times in your life may start to mix together. Images that look real might turn into images that look like dreams. This is your brain starting to work in sleep mode, when the rules of logic and cause and effect become less strict. Don't fight these changes or try to stay awake. Let your mind go where it wants to. Even if what your brain does while you sleep seems strange or illogical to you when you're awake, you should trust that it knows what it's doing. Sleep's associative thinking is very important because it helps your brain make new connections, deal with emotions, and combine experiences in new and interesting ways. Your nervous system is getting ready to take you on a journey through different levels of consciousness, each of which has its own health and wellness benefits. You'll go from the lighter stages of sleep to the deep sleep stage, where your brain waves will slow down to their most synchronized rhythms, and your body will reach its deepest state of relaxation and restoration. Later in the night, you'll go into the bright theatre of REM sleep, where your brain will make up detailed dreams using memory and imagination. You could fly, meet people from your past, or find answers to problems that seemed impossible during the day. All of this will happen on its own, thanks to the complex neural processes that control how dreams are made. During these times of deep sleep and dreaming, you'll go through lighter stages that connect different types of unconscious experiences. Your sleep won't be a single uniform state. Instead, it will be a carefully planned series of different neural activities, each of which will help you recover and feel better overall. Your nervous system will always be on the lookout for your safety during this whole journey. It will keep an eye on your surroundings for sounds or other things that might need your attention. It will keep your heart rate, breathing, and other important functions going. It will make sure you are in the right place and comfortable. You can sleep soundly knowing that the most devoted guardian you'll ever have is watching over you. The way your nervous system protects you while you sleep is very advanced. It can tell the difference between sounds that are just annoying and those that could mean danger. It can tell when the temperature, air quality, or other environmental factors that might affect your comfort or safety change. It can even respond to your dreams, keeping you from doing potentially dangerous things in your sleep by putting you in a state of protective paralysis. Your nervous system's job of protecting you goes beyond just keeping you safe. It also keeps your mind healthy while you sleep. When you dream, your mind processes emotions in a safe, controlled space where you can deal with difficult feelings without having to deal with them in real life. Your brain can think about different situations, try out different reactions, and deal with emotions in ways that make you stronger and smarter. As you fall asleep, keep in mind that you're starting one of the most important things you'll do all day. Sleep isn't time taken away from living. It's an important part of a good life. Sleep gives your body the rest and repair it needs to do everything you do while you're awake. Memory consolidation that happens while you sleep is what makes learning and growing possible. Your mental health and strength are helped by the emotional processing that happens while you sleep. Every hour of good sleep is a gift to your future self. The clearing of waste that happens during deep sleep may help keep you from getting neurodegenerative diseases decades from now. When you sleep, your brain strengthens memories. This helps you learn and remember things that will help you for the rest of your life. REM sleep helps you build the mental tools you need to deal with problems that may come up in the future by processing your emotions. Sleep is a gift you give yourself. It's not just a short-term gift of rest and refreshment, but also a long-term gift of good health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. Your nervous system is the generous benefactor that makes this gift possible. It works hard all night to make sure you wake up refreshed, restored, and ready for whatever the new day may bring. Let go of everything and let the process take over as your mind fades and sleep takes over. Let go of any tension that is still in your muscles. Let go of any worries or thoughts that are still bothering you from the day. Let your breathing find its natural sleep pattern. Give your nervous system all of your trust and let it take care of you. You are about to go through one of the most beautiful and healing processes in all of biology. Your brain will make slow, synchronized waves that will wash through your neural tissue like gentle waves, cleaning up the mess of consciousness and getting ready for new growth. Hormones that help your body heal and grow will be released. Your immune system will be more alert while you sleep, protecting you when you're most vulnerable. In a few hours, you'll enter the amazing world of dreams, where your sleeping brain will mix memories, feelings, and imagination to make experiences that can't happen in real life. You'll go to places that only exist in your mind and meet people who only exist in your dreams. You might also find answers or insights that have been hiding beneath the surface of your mind. All of this will happen in accordance with ancient rhythms that link you to the most fundamental patterns of life on Earth. Your sleep is a basic part of life, just like the beating of your heart, the rhythm of your breathing, and the changing of the seasons. You're taking part in one of the most important and universal things that happen in life. Have faith in this process. Have faith in your nervous system. Have faith in the wisdom of billions of years of evolution that have made these systems for rest and recovery. You don't have to know everything about how sleep works. You just have to let it happen and trust the systems that know exactly what you need. As the last bits of waking consciousness fade away, know that you are safe, protected, and cared for by the best and most devoted system you could ever think of. Your nervous system will keep an eye on your sleep to make sure you get the rest and restoration you need, while also keeping you safe and comfortable all night. And with that trust, that thankfulness, and that complete letting go of your own nervous system's loving care, let yourself fall asleep in peace. With each breath, feel the soft waves of relaxation wash over you, taking you deeper into sleep. Let your own biology's loving embrace keep you safe through the night. You will wake up at the right time, feeling refreshed and ready for the gift of another day. Good night, dear listener. May the symphony of your nervous system be especially beautiful tonight, and may you wake up tomorrow feeling very thankful for the amazing system that makes all of your experiences, both waking and sleeping, possible. You are in the most loving and capable hands possible, your own. So sleep well